third of the season for the Orioles that they hope they'll be able to get in today. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. Mother Nature is playing havoc right now as not only the Orioles, but Major League Baseball tries to conclude its regular season and figure out who's going to go to the postseason and in what positions. For both the Jays and the Yankees who are coming to town, right now at least, these games matter. So they're trying desperately to find a way to get these ball games played, because when you get to Monday, if there should be a tie for a wild card position, there would have to be a playoff game Monday. You don't want any of these games to be carrying over into the first of next week. Just no place to put them. So, doubleheader today. For the Orioles, of course, they are out of it. Right now, the mathematics say there will be no postseason. It has been a roller coaster ride for the Orioles. Take a look at some of the numbers and positions where they have been. The most games that they were over 500 was 7. They did that through June 28 when they went 41-34. The most games under was also 7. That came through September 7. You see the record. They were in first place in the American League East for just 10 days as the defending champions this season. The last time they were there, that was through July number 2. And in the wild card slot, only 12 days did they spend in a wild card position. That came through August 17, which actually is pretty late into the season, but the Orioles unable to get the W's needed, Mike Bordick, to move on to another postseason.
Well, as you say, it's really been kind of a buckle-up season for the Orioles. Roller coaster ride, indeed. Started off the season first couple months, 3 games below 500, but everybody was anticipating the month of June. That's when the Orioles turned it around last season. Well, this year they did as well. 18 wins in the month of June. That's when they started their climb. But unfortunately, the offense started to let them down. Listen, they scored 148 runs in the month of June, and it looked like they were starting to peak. Offense was starting to roll. Pitching was starting to come around again, much like it did last season. But a slow decline in offense and a steady decline in pitching as well led to the roller coaster ride the second half of the season. Of course, there were a lot of roster moves that had to be made. A lot of us forget about that. Delman Young had to be let go. There wasn't a lot of production out of the corner outfielders, so they were let go. Roster space was being freed up, and it just seemed like the organization was kind of in a whirlwind. Well, they started to fight back. In the month of August, things started looking up again. But they ran into the Twins who swept them. Next thing you know, they lost 15 of 18 games, and the hopes were really diminished. Yeah, roller coaster ride indeed. A lot of inconsistencies with this team, and they're going to hope to regroup, obviously, in the offseason and look for more consistency next year.
Well, it makes for an interesting day here because the Blue Jays, with a victory, can clinch the division. Ironically, it was the Jays who were playing the Orioles when the Orioles clinched the division. And if that happens today and it's the first game, who's going to play game number 2 after all the celebrations over? That's the big question. Well, a good thing to do to take care of that is Orioles win the first game. You don't have to worry about it. brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. It is a doubleheader day here at Camden Yards. It will be the third of the season for the Orioles. Game one of the previous doubleheaders, the Chicago White Sox, Orioles 3-2, the final in that one. Chris Sale beat them with a good performance, 7 2/3 over Tyler Wilson, who also pitched well in the game. Then the Orioles in game one of their second doubleheader, that was the Indians, a 4-0 win for the Orioles. Jimenez very strong, no runs, 4 hits over 8. Trevor Bauer took the loss in that game. We'll see what happens today as the Orioles play game 3, and they hope their last doubleheader of the season. Yeah, we will do this under cloudy skies to start. Our BGE home game time temperature is at 70 degrees. A little light rain this morning, but hopefully that's it for the day. BGE Home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Jays. It'll be Revere, Donaldson, and Bautista. Encarnacion, Smoke, Martin is in. Goings, Pilar, Barney will get a start at second. Last 15 games, Encarnacion just continues to power on.
And let's take a look at Miguel Gonzalez's pitch arsenal this season. Of course, making his first start since coming off the DL. Back in August 30th was his last start. Fastball 58% of the time. Really the pitch that's let him down. Not the command that we've seen in previous years. Breaking ball is a slow hook and the slider. And, of course, the split finger. Looking for his 10th win of the season. 4.85 earned run average. 106 punch outs. 48 walks on the season for Gonzalez. And opponents hitting .270 overall. They've also got 24 home runs, but 15 of those have been solo shots. Got to keep this Jays team in the yard.
Lifetime against Toronto, 12 starts, 7-2 record, very good, 2.35 earned run average. Only his second start against Toronto this season, and we'll see if he can add a victory to it as he won that game back in May. A run on 3 hits over 7 2/3 innings. Good outing. We're ready to go. First game of the doubleheader. And the pitch is taken for a strike. Revere started the series out with a 1 for 5. Their speedster in left field. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be taken inside. You have to play the bunt, try and take it away from him if you can. Manny Machado is going to be at short in this ball game today, so it's Ryan Flaherty who's working the corner at third base. And the pitch will be inside for a ball.
Ryan Flaherty showing his versatility. He's been playing some right field, left field, and now slid over to third base. Of course, has the ability to play shortstop, second, and first in the infield as well. Super utility player.
Only change from the lineup the Orioles are going to go with last night. Get Hardy out for game 1, probably in game 2. That'll be off the glove, and nice coverage, but not in time. Gonzalez got over there. The Orioles may take a look at this on the video. Revere with that great speed, ball off the glove of Davis and went to Scope.
Yeah, Revere never slowing down. Right out of the gate, and take a look at that second hop. Catches Davis on the lip and shoots up a little bit. Not in a bad position. Nice backup there by Jonathan Scope, and Gonzalez covering. Take a look. He get him. He's out.
Yep. So Buck Showalter says go to New York, please. So it is a manager's challenge to start the ball game. So here's what is at stake here in game 1. Toronto only needs to have a win or a loss by the Yankees in order to capture the division title. So that's what they are after here today. You see the play with the ball in the glove. Should be a reverse. Toronto 5.5 games ahead of the Yankees coming in. So if they win this first game, they will clinch the division title. And of course, still a second game to be played. If they don't win the first one, then they can wrap it up by winning the second one. Or they can lose both and wait for the Yankees to lose. Any of those things happen, and Toronto's got a division championship.
I keep seeing this replay here. I see the Orioles not giving up on that ball right there. It seemed like a pretty routine play off the bat, but Jonathan Scope getting himself in a good position to back up. Don't stop playing until the ball is contained, and then Scope on the run. He has to have the quick transfer and delivery on to Gonzalez and puts it right on the money. You see by that look, Revere looking out by pretty good margin.
Ball in the back of the glove is all that's required. on the play at first base for the out. So here they are. He's out. Joe West, crew chief, went over. It'll go as a 3-4-1 putout. And for Chris Davis, that'll save an error.
Yeah, absolutely. And you certainly don't want extra opportunities from Miguel Gonzalez. This being that first start back, hasn't pitched in a while for this team. Help him any way you can, and hopefully Miguel finishes the season on a positive note. It's been a struggle this year. In the second half, there were some arm problems. That's why he went on the DL with that shoulder tendonitis.
And the pitch will be taken on a breaking ball for a strike. Here is Josh Donaldson. Donaldson, third baseman, opened up the series with a 1-for-4 2 days ago. Toronto's won 5 games in a row. The Orioles have lost 4 in a row. Down the third, and a foul ball. There are a lot of Toronto fans on hand here to celebrate a division victory if they can get it. There were a lot here for Gibbons Ball Club in Game 1. There are a lot here for this one. They're all over there behind the Blue Jays dugout. As the Blue Jays have captured the fancy of all of Canada, it is an interesting situation. You have a team playing for a country, the only one there. Josh Donaldson, MVP candidate with the big numbers that he has continued to pump up. A lot of players would be willing to take the 287 in September. And the pitch, that will miss down low, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Well, last time Blue Jays were in the postseason, won the World Series back in 1993. So, yeah, all of Canada excited about this team this year. They've done it the right way. They added over the winter with Donaldson, and, of course, their catcher Russell Martin, and made some big moves at the trade deadline.
Ball will be popped up. Swirling breeze here, not blowing real hard, but it'll move the ball around. Ryan Flaherty able to get over there and puts it away, and there are 2 down.
Well, you talked about Miguel Gonzalez's success against the Blue Jays. Well, this year in his start back on May 13th, 7 2/3, had everything working. 3 hits, just 1 run. That was unearned. 2 walks and 5 punch outs. Batista going down there on the high heater. When Miguel Gonzalez has his command, he can dominate teams. Unfortunately, it didn't happen enough this season. Last year was a great year for him, a 3.23 earned run average. This year just could never find that consistency, and that kind of leads, I think, most people to think that he was battling through injuries much of the year.
Hasn't had a win since July 25. Foul back into the screen by Bautista. Bautista with a 2-for-4.
Take a look at the Orioles defense behind Gonzalez. Pierce, Lowe, and Parra in the Orioles outfield. Machado and Scope up the middle. Flaherty getting the start at third. Davis over at first, and Clevenger doing the catching this afternoon.
2 down, bases are empty. Infield shift on. Ball will be put up in the air the other way. And that will do it. So a good return off the DL for Gonzalez as he retires the side in order. Orioles lineup coming up. Mound, and it is his design T-shirt day, the mariachi T-shirt being worn, and not only that, we're going to hear from him. He is going to sing a little mariachi tune for us later on. Here's the O's starting lineup brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Parra, Machado, and Davis, Weeder, Scope, and Clevenger, Pierce, Flaherty, and Lowe. Ryan Flaherty this season against Toronto, some good numbers.
And here's a look at Marcus Stroman's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 60% of the time. Has a two-seamer, four-seamer, and a cut fastball. Two-seamer, favorite pitch, 91 to 95 with that heater. Breaking ball, has a curveball and the slider. Also has a change to go along with it. This will be his fourth start of the year. We're recovering from that knee surgery he had. He tore his ACL. So Blue Jays happy to get him back. Opponent's hitting 221 overall on Stroman. The righty's up to 294. Lefty's way down to 206. Stroman 3-0 with a 1.89 right now, and he allowed one run in his last two starts.
So the 24-year-old goes to work here. Parra's in the leadoff spot and right up the hole. They were playing him the other way. So the Orioles will get a leadoff single, as that was perfectly positioned. He gets out of 0 for 9.
See the Blue Jays defense here behind Stroman, Revere, Pilar, and Batista. And the Jays outfield, Goins and Barney up the middle. Donaldson and Smoke on the corners, and Martin doing the catching.
It'll bring up Manny Machado. Manny had an 0 for 4 in the opener. Game 2 days ago, of course, was won by Toronto 4-3. Orioles now 24 and 25 in one-run games, while Toronto improved their record to 15 and 27 in one-run ball games. And the throw over, and Parra back. As Zach Britton said before Game 1 of this series, while the Orioles may have no mathematical chance for the postseason, they certainly do not want to see a celebration by the Jays of a division title, which the Orioles tried to defend this year and did not. And so that's the impetus. You take whatever you can to get the adrenaline flowing, keep yourself in the ball game, stay focused for a reason. Also, the Orioles do not want to finish in last place in the East, and they're way too close. Tampa Bay is in last place, but only a half game behind the Orioles. Foul back at an 0-2 count.
Yeah, that should be some motivation right there. Staying out of the cellar after walking away with the American League East last year. Now they're finding themselves nearing the bottom of the East.
Machado with an 0-2 count. Stroman taking a look. Parra's got a pretty good lead over there. Machado will take it down low. Nice stop made by Martin. This is what Zach said before the start of the series. We have 6 games left, and if anything, you're playing for pride and you're playing to make it tougher on Toronto and New York. They've challenged the playoff spot, but New York hasn't, and we don't want anybody celebrating on our field, and that's the mindset we're taking into this homestand. 1-2, runner goes, throw down on the hop, and he's in with a stolen base. So Parra, a little running game here against Stroman.
Well, Parra, after a nice base hit going the other way, he was extending his lead. He was looking to run this hole at bat with Machado. And the short throw from Martin almost gets picked by Barney at second base, but Parra able to slide in there safely. Get the Orioles out in a scoring position.
Martin has thrown out 44%. Pretty good toss. Stroman, of course, just his 4th start, so you don't have a lot of numbers on that. Pitch is going to be taken. It will miss. Stroman thought he had one, and so did Russell Martin, the catcher. There you see the numbers. Those are the numbers on the year for Parra. Combined with the Orioles, he is 3-0. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Machado gets the RBI chance. And we'll loop that one down the line in right field. Smoke, first baseman over, and behind the tarp, a foul ball.
You see how much Stroman likes that slider. It's a hard one, and he can locate it very well. Trying to drive it down and away to Machado. And 4 straight sliders in a row from this young righty. Only 24 years old. Look at the pitch track location. Everything down and away to Machado. Trying to keep the ball away from belt high, because when Machado gets an elevated pitch, he's been doing some damage. 30 home runs this
Broken
year.
back ground ball to first base and a productive out. It'll be played by Smoke, and moves Parra over to third base now with 1 away. Shattered the bat on that one. So Manny Machado gets the runner where the Orioles wanted him, and that'll give Chris Davis a chance to get a run in here in a lot of different ways with only 1 down. Chris struggling a bit at the plate here in the final couple of weeks of the season. Trying to get the bat going again, pick up some of the RBIs. Still tied with Cruz for the home run lead at 43. Jammed that time by Stroman.
That's the cut fastball right there. Not a lot of velocity lost. 90 miles an hour. Loves to throw it in on the hands on the lefties.
0-1 delivery, and that one will be chopped foul, so he'll get ahead of him in a hurry on the 0-2 count. Gets 68% of leadoff batters out. They're really looking forward to having him for a long time as one of the anchors of this pitching staff in Toronto, and with good cause. The numbers he has put up in his career already, which is very young, a lot to be hopeful for. He's 14-6. Power's way off third base. Davis down to first and foul. One of these days, somebody's going to emulate Jackie Robinson. When these shifts are on and there's a runner at third, it's so tempting to want to take off for the plate. If you had a right-handed batter up there, just take a jump and try and steal home. As a result of the lead he had, Donaldson's moved over now in order to cut that lead down. Here's the 0-2 delivery again. That's taken down low, and Martin with another good stop keeps it out in front of him.
Well, we saw in the opener of this series with Caleb Joseph behind the plate, Ubaldo on the mound, and the Orioles had this shift going in their defense, and the runner at third base was able to extend his lead, and there was a split finger in the dirt that stayed in the dirt area around home plate. Base runner was still able to score on that pitch, so you've got to try to keep him as tight as possible. That's what Donaldson sliding back over.
1-2 delivery is going to miss inside. Another attempt to catch that inside corner right off the fists. The Orioles only had one scoring chance in the first game. They went 1 for 1 with a runner in scoring position in game 1 of this series. You've got Power over there here in the first inning with a chance to get the early lead, and fooled him, and Davis, I think, thought that was a strike, and so did Martin.
I think everybody, Marcus Stroman out there talking to himself right now. Russell Martin wanting that pitch. A couple borderline pitches not awarded the Blue Jays.
3-2 count. Power off third base, and got him on that one on ball 4. So Chris, a strikeout victim, and there are 2 down.
Well, he can't pick up the spin soon enough. He can expose a left-handed hitter. The hard slider right there, 88 miles an hour. He's working the cutter in there, but the slider just a little extra movement. Keep it off the bat head. And Davis goes down for the second out.
Stroman a chance to get out of the inning without allowing a run. Matt Wieters. Wieters has had the hot bat for the Orioles, 2 for 3 in the opener. He's got a 4-game hit streak. Matt has not done well with runners in scoring position. He's 191, 9 for 47 in these situations this year, with about a half a season worth of at-bats. 1-0 pitch, and that'll be on the outside corner for a strike.
See where Stroman likes to work the lefties. He is not afraid to bury that cutter or the slider inside. He'll work the two-seamer in there and then open up that outside corner.
Pitch will miss. 2-1. Orioles 1-6, lost 10 in the season series against Toronto so far. So Toronto has guaranteed themselves a season series W over the Orioles. 2-1 delivery on the way. Breaking ball that was outside, maybe a little bit low. Winning the season series, Toronto's done that for the first time since 2011. Against the Orioles. The Orioles had a streak going 3 years. 3-1 pitch on the way, and that one will bite down and in. He did not go around. So the inning will continue, and the Orioles forcing some extra pitchers as Wieters gets the walk. Here's our Jeep inside the numbers.
And take a look at the season split. Now, of course, this being his 4th start, not a big sample size, but on the at home, 2-0 with a .64. On the road, 1-0 with a 5.40. When he was pitching on the road in that ball game, he did have a no-hitter going through the first 4 innings. Ended up giving up the 3 runs in the 5th inning. But, you know, this is a common theme here for Stroman. 9-2 in his career with a 2.35 at home.
Runner coming to the plate. Here's a throw, and he got him. Orioles had a great chance to pick up a run right there as Parra taking off on contact, but a good defensive play records the out on Jonathan Schoop, and Stroman works out of the inning with a leadoff single, stolen base, runner at third, one out, and does not surrender the run. Stroman with a strong arm and got him by a lot. Eliminated by the Dodgers. Pitch will be taken up high. We'll keep you posted on the other doubleheader games that are going on today. Indians trying to keep their hopes alive. Minnesota's got a doubleheader that they are playing in. So there are some big games for those ball clubs here as we close in on the end of the regular season. Gonzalez working to Encarnacion. Encarnacion 3 for 25, all home runs of Miguel Gonzalez. 2-0 pitch on the way. Breaking ball is going to catch the outside corner. 2-1.
Well, Miguel's certainly got to mix up his pitches, especially early on in the ball game. The heart of this batting order starts sitting on pitches. If Miguel doesn't have command of the secondary offerings, could be some trouble. We're in the early going. Miguel showing that he's pretty sharp on all of his offerings.
Encarnacion, good average in this ballpark. Lifetime .295 hitter at Camden Yards. 3-1 pitch on the way to him, and he's going to draw the ever dangerous leadoff walk here in the second inning. Our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers.
We'll take a look at the opponent average off each pitch for Miguel Gonzalez in the first half. Take a look at the fastball. That's really been the key for Miguel Gonzalez. First half, 250 off the heater, but that second half, was it the shoulder problems, the elbow problems? I don't know, but the command wasn't there, leaving too many balls on the heart of the plate, and that's why that .333 batting average on the fastball.
Last 7 starts for Miguel. 2 no decisions and 5 losses. And now coming off the DL today to pick it up again. Here's Smoke, who will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Smoke getting the start at first base. He is a switch hitter. And an 0 for 2 in the opener of the series. Justin Smoke's got some power. Orioles shift the infield around. Play for 2. Down low. Levenger going down to block that one to make sure it didn't get by. And a 1-ball 1-strike count. There's no pitch count on Gonzalez today, but you don't expect him really to go very deep into the ball game. Depends on how tough the innings are, but when you're coming off that long a stand on the DL, that arm's likely to tire sooner than later. That pitch will be inside. he'll fall behind on Justin Smoak 2-1.
Yeah, if Miguel has some trying innings where he goes up over 20 pitches a couple times, he won't be in there very long. If he shows he's in command and not laboring through some extended innings, well, Buck will keep him out there until he's done.
Fouled off. Smoak, the right side hits 270. This side only 225. This is his power side, with the 13 out of the 17 home runs having been hit by Justin Smoak left-handed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner on at first base. Encarnacion. Ground ball here would be a relatively easy double play. You'll have a lot of time to make it with these 2 base runners. 2-2 delivery on the way by Gonzalez, and he swings through it. Foul tipped, says Kerwin Danley, the home plate umpire.
A good fastball, and one of the weapons Miguel has is the fastball when he gets ahead, because so many hitters are looking for that split finger, especially left-handers. We're here at the 90-mile-an-hour fastball painted on the outside corner, gets by Smoak for the first out.
Another one of the big difference makers, Russell Martin. Martin working behind the plate. Every time he goes to a new team, first year, they win. And that's what he's trying to do at Toronto this season. He will take the pitch. Among catches, he is among the leaders in lots of categories. He's first in WAR, wins above replacement for all catchers. Extra base hits, tied for first, 44 among catchers. RBIs, 71, second among catchers. And a good job behind the plate. Check swing and a pitch up high. They want to look at first base. Kerwin Danley says, nope, I'm not asking. And the count's 2-0.
Well, you know, Martin, you talk about his success when he starts his new career off with another team. And, of course, showed up this year with the Blue Jays once again. But when they targeted players in the offseason, they wanted a couple guys that would change the clubhouse chemistry. A couple guys that were committed professionals. They brought the same intensity every day, and Russell Martin has certainly proven that throughout his career, and he has made a huge difference. They have young pitchers that he's helped, settle into the major league level. Josh Donaldson, of course, the other key offseason acquisition.
2 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way by Gonzalez down to third, fair ball. It'll head into the corner. Encarnacion, as we said, not fast. Will they dare to wave him home? Rivera's going to try. You got a real play at the plate right here. Throw by Machado. Missed everybody, and a runner will move up. Had him dead to right. Louis Rivera, third base coach, took the chance, and it paid off. It'll be an error on the throw, allowing the runner to move up. Probably an RBI for Martin, who ends up at third.
Pretty aggressive send right here. But Martin sneaking one down that left field line, and Steve Pearce pulled over more into the gap. Finally gets the ball in the hands of Machado, but yoiks in a way right there as Encarnacion able to get on the board. But I think that may have caught the Orioles by surprise a little bit with the send.
So it is an RBI for Martin, an error charge on Manny Machado on the throw to the plate, allowing the runner Martin to move up to third. The infield has to move in. Here's Goings, and that pitch will be taken inside for a ball. That's the other thing the Orioles have done out of character, and that's start piling up the errors here in the final month of the season. The Orioles have been in first place virtually the entire season with the fewest errors committed. 21 have now been charged to Manny Machado on the season, and the Orioles are only a couple of errors shy of falling into second place in the error totals this year. Goins, a 1 ball, 1 strike count, 1 down. Encarnacion, the leadoff walk, again hurts the Orioles. Boy, how many times have we said that this month? Seems like every walk has resulted in a run for the opposing team. That'll be fouled off with the infield in.
Yeah, I know up in the Boston series, I think 8 out of the 10 walks scored in that series. So keep those opportunities off the base paths. Of course, you got to be careful with Donaldson, Batista, Encarnacion, and a couple borderline pitches to Encarnacion. But yeah, base on ball always seems to turn into a run.
Runner off third base. Goings gets an RBI base hit. Martin will score. Goings the single. He's having a very good finish to his season at the plate, picking up RBIs, and it is a 2-0 Blue Jays lead.
As he really helped stabilize this team. There are some question marks about his offensive production, but he started to make some adjustments in the second half, a little quieter before he starts his load to hit. And stays on top of the high fastball there for an RBI.
So 2 in, still only 1 away, and Pilar coming up. Goings picks up his 43rd run batted in. Goings getting playing time with Tulowitzki still out, but Tulowitzki is ready to come back, according to the ball club and manager John Givens. Told you there are a lot of Jays fans there. That's the noise you're hearing. Pilar at the plate. Pilar's got a 6-game hit streak coming into the first game of the doubleheader, and will take the pitch up high for a ball. During the streak, he is 13 for 22. Pilar's second on this offensive ball club in extra base hits. That's getting a lot of punch for someone batting down, at least today, in the number 8 spot. 1-0 delivery to him into the screen.
Well, I think players like Pilar and Ryan Goins benefit so much when you bring in quality veterans. Their work habits, their experience just rubs off on these young players, and it helps them to keep their intensity up through the course of a long season. See David Price there and Troy Tulowitzki, a couple great veterans as well.
1 ball, 1 strike count, and a swing and a foul tip into the mitt. We will be reminding you all day that there's been a change in the start for the game tomorrow. It's going to be a 12 noon start rather than a night game. That's for tomorrow. With the inclement weather and the hurricane making its way up, the Orioles made the announcement this morning. So tomorrow's game, not a night game, but at 12 noon. Hopefully, as the weather obviously has not been good and isn't expected to be good throughout the weekend. Yankees are coming in for 3 starting on Friday. That too could matter, obviously, as the deciding positioning for the playoffs continues, with both the Jays involved in it with their 91 wins, a game ahead of Kansas City for the most in the American League, and with the Yankees on the verge of being technically eliminated from the chance to win the division, but still having to battle, try and put some numbers up as far as the wild card spot is concerned, to play the game at home. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and that one down to third and foul.
Well, it's always an interesting finish anyway in Major League Baseball with the 2 wild cards, but you add Mother Nature into the picture, and it's really going to throw a wrench into things.
Baseball needs to have everything done by Sunday, because if there should be a tie for a wild card position, there is another game that has to be played on Monday to decide the second wild card team should there be a tie. National League's taken care of with Pittsburgh and Chicago. The American League wild card is not. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be popped back, and no play.
Miguel and Pilar locked into a nice little battle right here. Miguel executing some great pitches, but Pilar keeps spoiling the efforts.
Second time Gonzalez has had a 7-pitch or more at bat early in the game. Pilar will get his 7th look. 2 ball, 2 strikes, 1 down, 2 runs in. Goings on at first base. Infield double play depth. Runner not going, and a swing and a miss.
I think the way Pilar got out of the box right there, that's an acknowledgement of the quality of the split finger. Nasty pitch, diving down and in. See the Nissan pitch track. He was filling up the strike zone with everything. Pilar kept following him off. This one dives out of the zone. Get the big second out.
So Gonzalez a chance to get out of the inning. Darwin Barney getting the start at second base. Down to third, and a foul ball. Just missed catching a corner of the bag. Louis Rivera, third base coach, having a stare down with Joe West.
Oh, no.
Smilingly so.
Another stare down with Joe West. You can see how close it was. Barney hooking one down that left field line. There's Martin. He was able to pick one up, but this one kicking just foul in front of the base.
So back to the plate comes Barney. Barney's getting the chance, called up mid-September with the injury to Tulowitzki. They really like his work at second base, but he's not eligible for the postseason. 0-1 delivery to him. Breaking ball. He got underneath it, drives it up in the air towards left center. David Lowe's out there with Jones still out of the lineup. That'll retire the side, but a couple of runs in on 2 hits and an error, 1 left on. For being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Play baseball buck scratch offs and win up to $50,000 instantly. Learn more, mdlottery.com/baseball. First game of our doubleheader. When you come to the ballpark, you hope to have a baseball. But two? Do you think there's any way you could take those baseballs away from that child?
It doesn't look like it.
It's like the old saying. It's like taking candy from a baby. You ever try to take candy from a baby? You got no chance. 2-0 lead for the Jays. Bottom half of the second inning. Steve Clevenger will lead it off. Is leading it off. Clevenger with the offer in the opening game of this 4-game series. It is, of course, the twin bill today, the Orioles' third doubleheader. They split with Washington. I take that back. They split with Chicago, the White Sox 1-1, and they took a doubleheader from Cleveland. Toronto's also playing their third doubleheader. They split with Washington in Washington and took 2 against the Yankees in New York. That'll be a base hit. So the Orioles get leadoff single. Each inning they've had the leadoff man on. Clevenger the base hit. Orioles have extended their special 50% off ticket discount to include every remaining game in support of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. They've partnered with Maryland Governor Larry Hogan to raise funds. You can join. Orioles' $50,000 contribution. You can add to that by going to Orioles.com/charity. Steve Pearce coming up. Steven 0 for 3 in the opener, trying to get out of an 0 for 13. Foul tip for his strike. Orioles picking up their second hit of the ball game.
Seen some glimpses here, though, recently. Steve Pearce did last year as his home run total starts to climb to 14 after 21 in last season's year. Steve Pearce, free agent. So another player that the Orioles are going to be looking at hard this offseason.
0-2 count. Clevenger off first base. And the pitch is taken for a strike. So Pierce is retired. That'll be the second strikeout for Marcus Stroman.
Pierce not liking the call. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track here. The slider, borderline pitch, and if he starts getting those sliders down and away, it could be off the plate there. It could be a long afternoon for the Orioles offense.
We'll bring up Ryan Flaherty with a runner on. They'll go into the shift against Flaherty at double play depth. And the fastball will be taken up high for a ball. Tied his season high, driving in 3 runs in the opener of this series with the home run in the second inning. Orioles, of course, had gone 29 consecutive innings without scoring and then ended up getting 3 runs all in 1 inning. Short hop, second base, Barney. There's one relay. Major League double play right there. Nice play by Barney. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We'll go to the 3rd inning, trying to clinch the division title. The Jays 2, the Orioles 0. Shihiro Tanaka for the wild card game, as they will be in it. The Astros and Rangers, they finished tied for the American League West. The teams would play a 1-game playoff on Monday that would be played in Texas. The Astros, who look to be out of it, are right back in it. Astros and Angels, if they finish tied for a second wild card spot, the teams would play a 1-game playoff on Monday in Houston. There'll be a test sooner or later. It's amazing. You get down to this point where you got a handful of games left for teams. It's still, the permutations, combinations are mind-boggling.
It really is. It's an exciting time, though.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Here's Ben Revere, grounded out his first time up. Manager challenge, reversed a safe call on a 3-4-1 play at first base. Chris Davis off his glove. Scope found it. Pitcher Gonzalez covered, and they got the out. 0-1 delivery, and somehow didn't hit him. Inside and up a little bit, but he jumps away.
Well, Miguel Gonzalez kind of reminiscent to his very first outing at the major league level was against the Blue Jays, and he was fearless throwing the fastball in. And I think that's what kind of caught Buck Showalter's eye back then, and he's been having great success against the Blue Jays in his career.
That'll be hauled in by Pierce, and there's one away here in the 3rd inning. Now time to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use host CouchCam. You might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast, brought to you by T-Mobile. Josh Donaldson, who popped out his first time up. Donaldson's now moved into the top 10 in average. Number 10 starting the day. He hadn't been in that top 10. He's certainly been in the others. Home run wise, he's 3rd with 41, just 2 behind the leaders, Davis and Cruz. And he's 1st in RBIs with 122. You've got 4 of the leading RBI men in the American League in this ball game. Ground ball to short, and it's a base hit. Even with the shift on over that way, a hole is found, and Donaldson has got a 1-out single. That will bring Bautista to the plate. Some interesting numbers on our notebook on a long time coming. How about these games? The most regular season games without going to the playoffs. You've got Bautista and Encarnacion in the top 5. They're 2 and 3. Alex Rios, he's going to go. Chase Headley is going to go. Adam Lind is the only one who's with Milwaukee who's not going to go.
Yeah.
The other 4 will get their first playoff chance.
Pretty amazing. And Adam Lind, of course, was traded for Marco Estrada, who pitched against the Orioles first game of this series. So not getting his chance to play in the postseason. You mentioned Alex Rios. He started his career with the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be a big thrill when you've played that long. It's a big thrill anyway. But for veterans like Encarnacion and Bautista, it's a long time coming. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Bautista flied out to right field his first time up. 1 away, pitch up and in. Bautista, of course, up there in all the categories. He is 5th in home runs. RBIs, he's moved into 2nd behind Donaldson. You got Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion. They are 1, 2, and 5 in RBIs in the league. Chris Davis 3rd for the Orioles. 2-1. Chase that one with a big swing.
Miguel starts him off with a heater in there, and Bautista's eyes get big. He's hunting that inside corner anyway. He is right on the dish. Every pitch that comes across the plate to him is an inside pitch. See the Nissan pitch track. Last 2 in on that inside corner.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Timeout asked for at the plate. Well, the Cardinals could have clinched the National League Central earlier today. They lost. Pittsburgh Pirates have beaten them in the first game of a doubleheader, so they'll have a second chance to do it. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Down low, runner stays. Good stop made. Clevenger and holds Donaldson at first.
Oh, a nice block right there by Steve Clevenger. Of course, didn't make the team out of spring training. Was sent down to work on his defense a little bit. Could always hit. Again in AAA, over 300. You see by that block right there, paying a little bit more attention to the detail of catching.
Beautiful 72-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch got him.
Yeah, really good pitch right there. After the hard slider down in the dirt, take a look at the Nissan pitch track. The slow hook, 72 miles an hour, gets Bautista out in front. Typically very patient. You will hardly ever see him out on the front foot like that. But a great change of pace by Miguel Gonzalez.
So there are 2 down, runner on at first. Schiff will stay on. Encarnacion a walk and a run scored. Runner on at first base, 2 down. By the way, in that second inning, 1 of the runs earned and 1 unearned. The error charged to Machado helped set up the second run. 1-0 count. That'll catch the outside corner for a strike. One and one. Inside setup. That's where it was, and Mercy
coming in hot with a 2-seam fastball on the outside corner. But you see where Encarnacion's eyes are as well. That inner third. He's looking to turn and burn. Orioles tried to work him away consistently. Make mistakes on the plate though, and he can get the bat head to it. He's going to let it fly. That last fastball, 2-seamer in off the plate, and got the bat head to it.
1-2 delivery on the way to him, and a breaking ball again he takes. Encarnacion evens the count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Designated hitter, part of this tremendous offense put up by this Toronto team. It'll have to be contended with in the postseason. It'll be interesting. Pitching generally rules postseason. 2-2 delivery on the way. Not that Toronto doesn't have that too, but clearly it's the offense they rely on. 3rd in average, 1st in runs, 1st in home runs, first in on-base percentage, first in walks.
Well, I think that is really the separator for this Blue Jays offense. Their ability to get on base. You know, they'll take the walk. Even their boppers, Donaldson, Batista, and Encarnacion, they're not afraid to take pitches and get on base.
Runner goes, foul back on the 3-2 with 2 down. No, they certainly haven't been. And their pitching probably doesn't get enough credit because the offense so overwhelms. But as a team, they're 4th in ERA. I mean, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Starters are 4th, bullpen's 5th.
Well, and I think the bullpen has just made a huge turn for the better. Really pitching well the second half of the season. This addition of Stroman certainly helps the rotation as well.
So a 2-out walk is issued. Encarnacion now with 2 walks, the only 2 off Gonzalez. The O's will close out the regular season. Fan Appreciation Weekend against the Yankees starts Friday. Fireworks presented by Johns Hopkins Medicine on Friday. The Orioles knit bomber hat Saturday. 20,000 fans 15 and over. Steve Pearce Fans Choice bobblehead AT&T. First 25,000 15 and over on Sunday. So smoke comes up. A strikeout victim is first time up. The Hawaiian shirts, however, are sold out. 2-0 lead for the Jays. Ball popped up in the air, left center. Pearce low, and it will be Pearce who comes on to put it away. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Jays have the 2-0 lead. On Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Gary Thorne and Mike Wardick here at Camden Yards. Cloudy skies, but a pleasant day for the ball game for the moment anyway, on El Mariachi T-shirt day. And Gonzalez making the start, his designed T-shirt. Adam Jones with that bad back out of there. Adam just really frustrated. Probably won't play again unless just for an appearance. There's no reason for the Orioles to risk it. Saying the other day, first back problem he's ever had, and if anybody's had back problems, you need not be told what a pain in the back they are. Bottom half of the 3rd inning. Orioles will have David Lowe leading it off, Parra, and then Manny Machado. Lowe, who in spring training had hoped to be a regular corner position outfielder for the Orioles. It did not work out. Up and down this season. 79th game, hitting only .202. 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. 0-1 pitch to him is in there for a strike.
And David Lowe, a lot of opportunities to really showcase his stuff, but never could really get it going. And with the Orioles.
0-2 pitch, and that'll be fouled back. 0-2 the count. We are, of course, in the doubleheader day, and the second game will not start before 7, no matter what time this one gets over. At least that's the plan. I guess Mother Nature could change that too, but that's the plan. So if you want to see a ball game, second game, Kevin Gausman is going to go. R.A. Dickey for Toronto. Chop foul at the plate. So 7 o'clock tonight for game number 2 of the doubleheader. And then, as we said, we'll continually remind you tomorrow's game is a noontime game because of the weather. It's supposed to arrive with the hurricane noontime instead of tomorrow night. Lowe will look at strike 3. That'll be the third K.
And you see Stroman working all of his offerings as the hard slider. Look at the pitch location. This is the change up. Great arm sell. Two-seam action on that change up at about 9-10 miles an hour slower than the heater. Pitching coach Pete Walker.
1 away. Pyra base hit, stranded, first time up. Stroman's delivery will be in there for a strike. Stroman has thrown pitches in his 3 starts, 95, 96, and 78 in his first outing. Coming away with the 3-0 record. Wins against New York, Boston, and the Yankees again. One at Yankee Stadium, one in Toronto. John Gibbons patiently waiting to say that a division title belongs to the Jays. Ground ball down to first base. It's going to stay fair. Tag put on. Justin Smoke makes the play. 2 down. Our PNC minor league report.
Let's take a look at the Delmarva Shorebirds. That's the low A for the Orioles. They're 71 and 67 this year, 4th place in the South Atlantic Northern Division. John Means had himself a fine year, 9 and 8 with a 3.50. And how about Garrett Courtwright? 0.96, 12 saves in 13 opportunities. I think 34 appearances. Both Means and Courtwright challenged at High A Frederick later in the season. And Yomar Reyes, infielder, just 18 years old, out of Dominican Republic. A great offensive year, 278, 44 RBI, 27 stolen bases. He was a midseason all-star for Delmarva. Ryan Miner, Howie Clark, and Blaine Beatty. Great job with those young athletes there.
Manny Machado up, and a ground ball down to third over the bag. Foul ball. Manny grounded out to first. First time up. Nice play by Donaldson. Young fan had a glove. First row off the third base side. He stood up, held his glove up, and Donaldson threw it right in it.
Well, Donaldson becoming a familiar name now all over the place. At times you can get lost over in Oakland. But his impact on the Blue Jays has made him a household name. Of course, front runner for the American League MVP.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Machado on a check swing, 1 around. That'll be strikeout number 4. When we come back, mariachi music by Miguel Gonzalez. Stand by.
De mi vida, Yo no puedo quererte limpiamente, pero ¿qué quieres que haga, vida mía? Si el corazón no ve, tan solo siente.
There you go. I love it. It's Mariachi T-shirt day, designed by the Orioles starting pitcher. And a pretty good job.
Wow. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's great. And there are the T-shirts being handed out today to the fans coming to the ballpark.
Well, we always talked about him being fearless.
Wow.
That effort.
And he had the facial going.
Oh yeah,
he was serious.
You got to have that emotional
you
feel,
do.
you know, when you sing like that, and he certainly does.
That was great. Good job. Here is Russell Martin. He will foul that one back. Martin had a double and an RBI his first time up. He caused me to go research. I've said I really do love mariachi music. So I had to go back and I'd never done it before, see where it came from. A couple of cities, Guadalajara, where Miguel is from, is one of the cities mentioned as perhaps the first to have mariachi music. There's another state province there also cited. And the term mariachi, no one agrees on. They're not sure where it came from. Some thought it came from the Spanish colonists who went there. Others said it came much earlier than that, from Mexican wood that was used for stages and for the guitars that the mariachi players used. But nobody's quite sure what the term mariachi really means. But it certainly has become a great form of music, and it is wonderful to listen to. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Timeout asked for it.
So does mariachi music, is it like love music?
Look at this. See, that's it. That is great. That is a tremendous mariachi hat. That ball go down to third base, not hit hard. Flaherty. 1 down. If you're not receiving Mass and Mobile alerts, text the word Orioles to 29292 for in-game alerts and chances to win exclusive prizes, including meet and greets with your favorite players and autographed memorabilia. That's Orioles 29292.
So in mariachi music, is it like, do they sing love songs, or is it all kinds of different music?
It's all kinds of different music. It actually, it's almost, it originated as operatic music. And you have violins in a full mariachi band. You've got violins, trumpets, a harp, an oversized what's called bass guitar. They're big guitars that give you a very bass sound to it, and then rhythmic guitars in it. You could have a mariachi band can be substantially big. 15, 17. I mean, generally you see 4 or 5 players cut down, and it was originally operatic music and for plays, and then became a more popular music form. And you can find mariachi bands in the Baltimore area available for hire. I mean, I guess that makes sense. You find them anywhere.
We got a singer.
We already got the lead singer. Look at this bunt against a shift. That's the way it's done. Goings picks up his second hit. The Orioles had the infield around, and once he got that ball down, he could have walked down.
Well, they're not going to stop playing. The Blue Jays aren't. I mean, it's all but done, them winning the division, and they're going to take advantage of every opportunity here. The shift going on. Goins might be practicing this in the postseason, so why stop now? I mean, stick to your game plan and keep executing. Goins a nice job right there.
So he's on with the fourth hit of the ball game for the Jays. Pilar up, strikeout victim his first time up. Jays are 2-4-0. The Orioles 0-2-1. And Gonzalez gets a good breaking ball in for a strike. Miguel looking for a victory here in his return off the DL. 7-2 lifetime against the Jays. 0-1 delivery on the way. That'll be in the dirt. And I will say, if you'd like to see some great mariachi bands to finish it up, go onto YouTube, Google it. You'll find YouTube mariachi bands performances, and there was a concert given in Mexico. It's the first one on the list. It's unbelievable music. had a reach for that one and fouls it off. And Pilar, 1 ball, 2 strike count from Miguel.
Tequila not required, right? I mean, you don't.
Well, not required, but certainly goes a long way to raising that hat off your head. I'll tell you that much. It's the outfits too. We saw that fan with that hat on. I mean, the mariachi outfits the bands wear, it's spectacular. I mean, there's such showmanship outfits. Way up in the air. Not beat. Pierce coming. Machado out. And Machado will put it away. And Goings hustling back as he almost reached second base. Manny Machado at shortstop, of course, in this ball game. Probably J.J. Hardy will be in game 2. He was scheduled to start yesterday, but with a doubleheader, Orioles not going to play him twice, so J.J. gets a rest for game 1, and Manny gets a little work at short, both of which the Orioles wanted to get done here in game 1.
And I think it's great that Manny let it be known to Buck Showalter that he wanted to play every game this season. Good sign for the young player, young superstar in the game.
Yeah, Buck was asked this morning, will you take him out in the second game? And he said no. We had a conversation yesterday, and I felt since he'd gone this far, played this well, that he deserved to have a say, and he wants to get in every game, so that's what Buck plans to do. 0-1 pitch on the way, and the pitch will be up high to Barney.
Well, I think it was important for Manny Machado after a couple knee surgeries to prove that he could be out there every day, and he certainly didn't disappoint. He came in great shape, and you know, he has settled in and become one of the best players in the game at such a young age. So impressive and fun to watch on a daily basis.
Breaking ball is going to be in the dirt. Runner remains at first. Barney flying out to center field, his first time up, starting second baseman in this ball game. There is Jason Garcia. As expected, not going to push Gonzalez very far. Down 2-0 in the ball game. 2-1 delivery on the way. Breaking ball inside. 74 pitches thrown in the start for Gonzalez, who has not pitched since going on the DL, and that kept him out from the 30th, August 30th, until today. Three-one delivery, and walked him. That'll be the third walk surrendered. 2 on, 2 down, and that's going to be it. So for Miguel Gonzalez, disappointing season in the sense he did not get the number of starts. The injuries kept him out. He'll finish with a 9-11 mark, and Miguel will leave the ball game responsible for the 2 on, and the Oriole fans a nice hand for the starting pitcher.
3 2/3, 4 hits allowed, a couple runs, just 1 earned run. But the 3 strikeouts for Miguel put him into 20th place all-time for Mexican-born pitchers with 417 Ks, passing Vicente Romo. And now it's time for a little relief for your car, too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube. Drive in today. Well, Jason Garcia and out of the Orioles bullpen. The fastball 70% of the time. Good fastball since his coming off the disabled list, mid-90s with the heater. Nice late movement, hard slider, 4.40 earned run average. You see holding opponents just a 2.02 overall batting average.
Runners on with 2 down. First and second occupied. Base hit up the middle. First pitch seen by Revere. That will bring in Goins, and the runner goes to third. Long time low to get in and pick that ball up. So an RBI will make it a 3-0 ball game. Jays on top.
Seeing eye single right here, back through the middle off Garcia. Take a look at the base hit. Looks like it's hot off the bat. Then kind of slows down when it gets to that outfield grass, and that allows Barney to get into third base as the Blue Jays played another.
All that rain has made that outfield grass very slow. So that run will be charged to Gonzalez, who's also responsible for Barney at third. 2 out, base hit, RBI for Revere. And the pitch outside to Donaldson, who has picked up a base hit. Donaldson also has popped out. Revere's been a good man at getting people moved around that top spot. It's only his 18th RBI, and that's with Toronto. But he's done that in the leadoff spot. Stop made by Clevenger to hold the runners. Revere overall on the season, 26 RBIs out of the National League and a .298 average, 314, 17 RBIs with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Once again, though, that on-base percentage, he's up over 350. So table setters for the big boys.
Foul back and a big windup by Donaldson on that swing. And Garcia with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Donaldson has had a couple of home runs, 12 RBIs against the Orioles. Games played this season. 2-1. First and third occupied. Playing him to pull the infield. Runner goes. No throw. Stolen base for Revere. Number 7 with Toronto. 25 in the year.
Pretty good jump right there, and he doesn't even turn and look. And he's thinking about stealing that base.
3-ball, 1-strike count. Now a chance for a couple of RBIs on a base hit. 3-1 delivery to him. Donaldson will take it, and another walk. So Garcia comes on, gives up a single and a walk, and loads the bases for Bautista. And the bullpen is active again. Clevenger will go out and have a word. Bautista's flied out and struck out. Big moment here for the Orioles, already trailing 3-0. To get Bautista out there and not surrender anything else. Garcia outfield deep behind him. Bautista takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
If he can stay down there, he'll get out of this inning unscathed. Great fastball, located well, good velocity at 93.
0-1. That's going to get away, and the runners will stay. Clevenger had it bounce off, but he was able to block it enough. Didn't go very far down that first base side.
Nice recovery here by Clevenger. Dropping down to both knees and the head up, so he sees it right away, and he's all over that baseball. Holding Barney at third base.
Bautista's had 1 grand slam this year. He's 4 for 11 with the bases loaded. Fouls that one off the other way. Garcia will get ahead of him. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
And we saw in the opening game of this series, Bautista doesn't come up there just to hit home runs with runners on base. He'll use the whole field. He took Darren O'Day with a single, a ground ball single the other way when runners are in scoring position, so he has the ability to shorten up.
1-2 delivery on the way to him is outside. Bautista not only second in RBIs in the league, but he is also second in runs scored. So with all those walks he picks up, 105 leading the league, he becomes both a table setter and an RBI guy in their lineup. Bases loaded, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Pitch on the way, that gets away, again blocked by Clevenger. So as far as you can go, 3-2.
Got lucky here with this block. He tried to reach out and catch the slider, and it kicks up over the glove and catches him right on the chin, but stays on the dirt. Keep runners in position.
Here we go. Big pitch. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Barney, Revere, Donaldson are the base runners. First and second base runners take off and walked in a run. So Garcia having no luck. 3 up, 3 on, and a run in. 2 walks. Bautista picks up a free RBI, his 112th.
And this is the problem you have when you face the Blue Jays. They're lining up the boppers with Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion, and you try to execute quality pitches. So you work the perimeter, you hope for a chase every now and then, but they show and have proven time and time again that they have a quality understanding of their own strike zone. Better make a pitch that stays on the plate a long time and has late finish if you want them to swing through something.
So 4 runs will be charged to the starter, Gonzalez. 3 of them earned on 4 hits. Here's Encarnacion, 2 walks. He has scored a run. Bases remain loaded with 2 down. He was going for 6 RBIs on that swing. Big cut by Encarnacion.
He's stretching it out a little there.
He's had an amazing number. He's had 8 attempts with the bases loaded. He's had 4 hits, and 3 of the 4 have been grand slams. 0-1 pitch on the way, and a towering fly ball. Shortstop Manny Machado backing over towards the line and will make the catch. So a couple of runs score. They leave the bases loaded, but Toronto on top now 4-0. U20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit them in store or online at mile1.com.
Well, doubleheader concludes 30 minutes after game 1 this afternoon. And Blue Jays tomorrow at noon And then the Yankees come in town for the weekend series. 7 o'clock start Friday, 7 o'clock Saturday and Sunday at 3 in the afternoon.
So those of you who want to get to the ball game tonight, it will start at 7:05, no matter what time this game ends. So you got plenty of time. Come out and see Kevin Gausman, R.A. Dickey. T-shirt giveaway will be continuing for the second game.
Nice.
Great T-shirts. Here is Chris Davis, Davis Wieters, and Jonathan Schoop. Chris Davis, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Bit ironic, neither he nor Nelson Cruz can hit a home run.
Right.
They have both gone through. Cruz has gone, I think, a week and a half now, and same thing is holding true for Chris Davis since the last home run. They're tied at 43. They got to watch out because the guys behind him are creeping up. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and boy, he just buried that one. 5 strikeouts.
Another nasty slider. An Oriole lefty here, burying it. Back foot, 82 miles an hour. Comes in there tight, holding its head on the plate, and then just bites hard down and in.
For Chris now, he is up to 206 strikeouts. The all-time mark is 223 in one season, set by the former Oriole Mark Reynolds back in 2009. Chris not likely to reach that 223 mark. Matt Wieters. Wieters drew a walk his first time up. Marcus Stroman has a walk and 5 strikeouts. Gonzalez left, 4 runs, 3 earned, 4 hits, 3 2/3 innings. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Wieters and then Schoop. And that pitch is going to be there for a strike to Matt. Ooh, that's a different hat he has put on. He's got, I wonder how many hats he brought with him for today. Wow. Yeah, 1-2 delivery on the way. He got him.
A good fastball right there. Stroman now, I mentioned his age, only 24. See the good two-seam action on 90-mile-an-hour heater. It works itself back over the middle of the plate. Pretty good late movement. But when you find starting pitchers that aren't tall guys, now typically starters you see 6'5", 6'6", they create that great downhill angle. When a starter's under 6 feet, Stroman's listed at only 5'9". A lot of their pitches stay on the same plane, so you got to find a way to have late movement on the plate. Well, you're seeing the action that Stroman has. That two-seam fastball has great darting action like that one there. The slider has late down and away bite against the righties. So he does what he does with such a small frame, and being able to get that maximizing the sharp movement across the zone is pretty impressive.
He has struck out 3 in a row. He struck out 6 in the ball game. With this his 4th start. He had struck out 5 in the last start against the Yankees. That was his high this season in just the 4 games now. This is a new high for him. In fact, he's going to close in on a single season high in strikeouts. That one in the air to the gap, left center, and out of reach. It'll go off the base of the wall. Schoop is into second base. He has a double with 2 down here in the 4th inning as the Orioles get an extra base hit.
Jonathan Schoop racking up the extra base hits, his 15th double this season. Here's a slider. It stays up long enough, but look at the long arms go out and get it. Even one hand on the finish. He drives that ball hard in the right center gap, beating Batista deep. And Schoop finds himself at second base.
So the Orioles, another chance to score. Left a runner in scoring position in the 1st inning. Clevenger had a base hit his first time up. He will take the pitch for a strike. 2 down, runner on at second. Orioles with 3 hits in the ball game, trailing 4-0. Clevenger trying to pick up an RBI. Orioles still finding it so difficult to pick up runs. That one taken inside. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Most of the Orioles getting a look at Stroman for the first time in their careers. One delivery on the way, and that one is going to miss inside. It's only his second career start against the Orioles, September 15 here at Camden Yards. He allowed 5 runs in 6 innings last year. Did pitch against him in relief and got a save, his only save. That's going to get away, and a runner will move up, Jonathan Schoop. I don't know what happened to Russell Martin on that one. It just kind of thumped, and the next thing you know, it was behind him.
Maybe a little sharper than anticipated, but when the box starts getting chewed up and the ball breaks over there in the box, you never know where it's going to go. And that one he tried to pick. Going to drop it down with a chest protector.
So a 3-ball 1 strikeout with a runner on at third. Stroman's 3-1 delivery, and that is there on the inside corner for a strike. And he walked it. Second walk surrendered. Gave up 1 in the first inning. Gives up 1 here. So we have the first inning situation again, first and third with 2 down. This time Steve Pearce will get the chance. Jonathan Schoop had it in the first inning and grounded out. Pearce called out on strikes his first time up.
Good opportunity. Steve Pearce to shoot the ball to right field. Stroman's working the righties away with the slider, even backdooring that 2-seamer on the outside corner. Hasn't consistently worked righties in.
A lot of movement on that. Kerwin Danley, home plate umpire, had a nerve movement in the right shoulder, but he didn't bring the arm up.
Yeah, I think movement with everything. Even Martin kind of moved a little too much. Right? That's why he wasn't rewarded that strike.
Ooh. Check swing just missed Flaherty in the on-deck circle. And he wasn't even in the on-deck circle. He was right there. We've seen more of that this year, seems to me, than I've ever seen before, of guys in the on-deck circle almost getting hit.
Yeah, never safe.
No.
Watch out.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way, and that'll go to third base. Force out at second. Donaldson goes there. Barney gets it, and the Orioles do not score. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Jays chance to clinch. Lead it 4-0. Spring training home of the O's. Go beyond the stadium to Siesta Beach. Named winner of the 15 TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Awards for beaches. Plan now. Visit Sarasota.org. A lot of work done on Siesta Beach. Totally renovated. And have a new restaurant open there. You'll be able to sit out looking right out over the sand onto the Gulf. 4-0 lead. Garcia on in relief in that last inning. Was able to get the final out. Not before a single and 2 walks, though. And a 4-0 lead for the Jays. Orioles now 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. The Blue Jays 2 for 4 in the game. Justin Smoke takes the pitch away. Smoke, the only Blue Jay not to hit in the 2-run 4th inning.
A couple big innings here for the Blue Jays. There's the second. They scored a couple, and then that last inning. This team can explode on you, put a hurting. The ability to draw walks, and of course picking up the base hit. No long balls in this ball game, but always danger. Even Smoke. 17, 18 home runs.
2-0 delivery and down to first. Short hop. Davis. 1 down. On Friday, celebrate the season's final fireworks night. Skies light up. Special fireworks display presented by Johns Hopkins Medical Center. After the Orioles-Yankees game at 7:05. Hope you'll make some memories here. Final weekend, Fan Appreciation Weekend starts Friday. You can get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Russell Martin, a double, a run scored, and he is grounded out. We'll foul that one back over the screen. Orioles will try and make a comeback here in this one. Prevent this Jays team from having a celebration after game 1 and game 2 for that matter. 0-1 delivery on the way. That'll be outside. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Could he win the American Manager of the Year award, John Gibbons? Could Joe Girardi? Ground ball going to short on the backhand. Manny Machado, and will get him. 2 down.
Nice play there by Manny Machado. Showing he can do it all over there on the left side of the infield. Of course, no stranger to playing that shortstop with as many shifts the Orioles incorporate.
J.J. Hardy should be in, I think we'll play in game 2. There's nothing wrong with him. Just not going to play in both ends of a doubleheader at this point. Goings up, 2 base hits and a run scored. He's also picked up an RBI. Goings hitting .325 against the Orioles coming into this ball game on the year. So he has added to that number, well above his overall .247 average on the season. 0-1 delivery. It'll be away. Dodgers picking up the victory last night. Nothing could be sweeter for them than to guarantee themselves a division title by beating the Giants, the defending world champions. That's what they did on a 1-hitter, Clayton Kershaw. 1-1 delivery on the way, will be outside. They beat Madison Bumgarner, the all-everything last year for the champion Giants. Thing I couldn't believe, you think of the great history of the Dodgers in Brooklyn and L.A. It's the first time they have made the postseason 3 consecutive seasons. Huh. That's a long history.
Surprising.
Yeah, I was taken aback. They'll face the Mets. Series made for TV. East and West Coast, New York and L.A. That'll be in the division series starting October 9. Pitch is outside. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Goings 2 down, nobody on.
When you talk about pitching and the postseason, both the Mets and the Dodgers have some quality arms.
3-2. Wind has all but died down here at the ballpark now. Full count delivery to him. He rockets that to the gap. Nobody's going to catch that one. Goings is 3 for 3. Question is, where will he end up? Second base will be it. 2 singles and a double. This one coming with 2 away.
16th double of the season. The adjustments he made in the second half with the quiet start just catapulted him offensively, doing some damage against the Orioles, picking up his 3rd knock here on the double in the right center gap.
Interesting that he's following suit, Mike, with what we talked about before with Encarnacion and Bautista. As his walks have gone up, his average and extra base hits have gone up.
Oh, yeah.
2 down inside.
I think his start is so quiet. And really, that's such a key for every hitter. If there's too much head movement, and they can't control their eyes, they can't see the spin on the baseball. That leads to early outs, soft contact outs, swinging at breaking balls and the such. And I think Goins figuring out that he's not going to be the 30 home run guy that he maybe thought he was earlier on in his career. So he's made the adjustments offensively, quiet his body down, has a better understanding of his strike zone.
And that pitch will be taken by Pilar for a strike. Mike Wright in the bullpen. We were talking about the Dodgers' 3 consecutive seasons postseason. That's as the division champions. 3 consecutive years going in that position as the National League West champions. Ground ball will go down to third. It is a fair ball, and that'll be an error. Ryan Flaherty trying to pick it up and make the throw. Never got a handle on it.
Tough play. So you got the speed of Pilar, who's smelling that base hit. The infield hit the chopper. So Flaherty's got a bust to try to get that ball. Can't time a hop. You got to take what you get. The ball comes up, gets on him. It's off the heel, and he can't control. Nice wherewithal to turn around and give a look at third base. Maybe get somebody sleeping behind him, but Goins in there safely.
No error. It'll be a hit. So Pilar gets an infield single, putting runners on at first and third for Barney. Barney's drawn a walk and scored, and he is flied out. Another RBI chance to add to a 4-0 lead. And the pitch in there for a strike. Toronto now 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position in the game. Garcia trying to find what has been in this ball game some elusive third outs for the Orioles. Oh, 1 pitch, ground ball. This will not be an easy one either. Good play. And thrown into the dirt, gets by Davis. Goins has scored. Pilar will be held. And the overthrow into the dugout. And it wasn't even necessary. Nobody was running. And they're both going to score. The Jays runners were not even moving. And for some reason, Chris threw the ball and it ended up in the dugout.
Maybe just a little frustration after not coming up with that pick. Buck Showalter, the quizzical look down there. And great play by Garcia, bouncing off the mound. Tough backhand. It's a strong throw. It's low, but Davis can't come up with the pick. The base runners just freeze at second and third, and here comes the ball. A couple feet over Clevenger's head. Nobody backing up as Garcia made the play as the pitcher. Didn't look good there. And the Orioles defense that had been so sound all season long has let them down here this last month.
Buck Showalter, who so harps on defense. 3 errors now in the ball game. Both those runs score. A 7-0 lead for Toronto. 1-0 delivery. Barney goes to the gap the other way. That's going Revere rather. That's going to fall in. Trying for 2. Throw coming in. Not in time, and he stays on the bag. And he's got a double. It kind of looks like Toronto's already started their division winning celebration here in this ball game. A real disastrous inning here in the 5th for the Orioles. That will take Garcia out of the ball game in an unsuccessful relief appearance. Still looking for out number 3.
This Blue Jays lineup down. The fastball 70% of the time. Good two-seamer and four-seamer. Rushed it up there in the mid-90s. Breaking ball, the slider 20% of the time. And a straight change from Mike Wright. Been 11 games and 9 starts. Didn't go as well as planned. Of course, the first two phenomenal. And then inability to stay consistent in the starting rotation. Getting some opportunities now in the Orioles bullpen. Opponent's hitting .289 overall. Lefty's way up to .318. Fly ball pitcher. 62% of his outs in the air. And giving up 9 long balls.
The scoring on all that went on here after Goins got the double. Pilar picking up the base hit. And then Barney reached on an error charged on the pitcher. Garcia on the throw. The 2 runs score on the error charge to Davis on the overthrow back to the plate. So the Orioles have given up 3 unearned runs of the 7 that are on the board right now, and they've committed 3 errors in the game, 2 in this inning. Donaldson with a runner at second base. Wright's delivery to him is a strike. Donaldson has popped out, had a single, drawn a walk. Garcia with a real tough outing, the inning. 4 hits and responsible for the runner on at second base. 3 runs in here in the 5th. 0-1 pitch and popped up down the line in right field into the corner near the wall and right off the scoreboard. Heading into second base, Donaldson, and he's got an RBI double. That ball kept going. His 123rd league leading run batted in.
That's the pop that Donaldson possesses right there. He stays through a baseball and gets the maximum carry, backspinning it. Cutting down through the bottom half, and you see up off the Maryland Lottery sign, pretty darn near close a home run. Picking up his 41st double of the year to go along with his 41 home runs.
Ties him for 3rd in the league in doubles with Kipnis Morales. Bautista, a walk, RBI with the bases loaded last time up. 2 down. Fastball will be up high for a ball. So for the 2nd consecutive inning, Blue Jays have sent at least 8 batters to the plate. They did in the 4th when they got a couple. They've got 4 in this inning now. Bautista, big slash, will foul it back. All of these runs here in this inning should be unearned, as the inning should have been over on the play at first on Barney. 1 ball, 1 strike, right. And that'll be taken outside. Count goes to 2-1.
Well, Mike Wright's had a couple opportunities, and Orioles have gotten a good look at him in the starting role. And now we'll take a look out of the bullpen. Could be a big piece of this team next year. It was an outstanding season in AAA. Hasn't been able to get on any kind of consistent role here at the major league level.
Count goes to 3-1. I think, Mike, fair to say as the season's gone along and they've looked at Wright, there's been more discussion about the bullpen with him, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think his fastball will play better in the bullpen. Might see it add a couple, maybe 3-4 miles an hour on that heater. It could be dominant out of the bullpen.
3 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way, and there's another one. So Bautista's drawn 2 more of his league leading walks, 107. Orioles have surrendered 6 walks, and that drives that man crazy.
Walks no good. Errors no good. Orioles playing some sloppy baseball here. First game of this doubleheader. Not the way you want to finish up the season. You still got to keep that integrity intact. Be a pro, play hard, keep that focus all the way through.
Edwin Encarnacion, another chance, popped out his last time up with the bases loaded. 2 on now, and the pitch is in there for a strike. He drew a walk in the second inning and scored another walk in the third inning and was stranded. 8 runs, 9 hits, an 8-0 lead for Toronto, batting in the 5th inning. Encarnacion will take another. That too is going to be in the outside corner, and he's behind on the count 0-2. He didn't think so, as you can tell.
Oh, no.
Right, a look back. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that one is going to be way outside. So a ball and 2 strikes. The Orioles came in having committed 73 errors. They've committed 3 in the game. That's 76. Houston has committed 78. So has Minnesota. So the Orioles still the fewest errors, but a couple of ball clubs that aren't very far behind. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And the fastball reared back for a little extra at 95, but missed. 2-2.
Good try there. Clevenger, second pitch, he's wanted that fastball up in the zone, and I like to see him going right back up there because you got to force a pitcher to get there. Clevenger called for the fastball, and he ended up keeping it down and off that outside corner. Make him execute the pitches.
That's going to go down the line, foul. Broken bat. 2 ball, 2 strike count from Wright. 2 on here in the 5th inning. Donaldson the double, RBI. Bautista at first with a walk. You can see in this game how that on base percentage that is so high for Toronto just kind of accumulates. You have these kind of innings and you send 8 guys to the plate in the 4th inning. You only had 2 hits and they were both singles.
Yeah.
But you picked up 3 walks in the inning. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Wright's delivery to him, and that's going to be outside. So the runners will be off with 2 down on a full count.
They very rarely expand the strike zone. A lot of scouts here in town right now doing their homework on the Toronto Blue Jays and trying to find a way to shut this Blue Jays offense down.
Three-two delivery. Runners go. Ball in the air. Center field. Hit hard. Going back. Low will make the catch. All right, Encarnacion retired. They batted around. Come up with 4 and an 8-0 lead.
Venue for us. We're excited about coming here.
And we want to congratulate the championship's return. Greg McLaughlin, the president, PGA, making the announcement at Caves Valley Golf Club yesterday in Owings Mills, Maryland. Senior Players Tour, 5th Senior Players Championship to be played in Maryland, and the 12th course that will host the major, which began in 19 1983. So welcome back to Maryland.
Yeah, great event. It's part of that one year. You do an awesome job.
Well, the Orioles, mighty uphill struggle in this one. Bottom half of the 5th inning, they are trailing 8-0. On Garcia, 4 runs, none of them earned, 4 hits in an inning. So there are 8 runs on the board, 3 of them are earned. And the Orioles have only 3 hits in the ball game. They have stranded 4, 2 in scoring position. A long rest again for Marcus Stroman. He has walked 2, struck out 6. Flaherty hit into a double play his first time up. David Lowe and then Parra will be due up. And the pitch will be taken away for a ball. Another doubleheader today. Minnesota's got the lead over Cleveland by a score of 5-0 in that ball game. 2 ball clubs just hanging on by their fingernails when it comes to the hope for the postseason and a wild card spot. The Angels playing some really good baseball. They've moved up into a wild card position. That'll be a swing and a foul tip right off the end of the bat, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Another pretty good change right there from Stroman. Goes with that full mix against the lefties. Makes it really hard on them. Gonzalez and Chris Tillman. A little conversation in the Orioles dugout. See Tyler Wilson there in front of them.
1-2 delivery on the way. First game of 2 today. Second game will be at 7 o'clock. No sooner than 7 should this game run long. Could be after that, but it won't be sooner than 7 o'clock. And got him called 3rd strike.
Pretty filthy 2-seamer right there after steady diet of pitches away. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. 2-seamer 90 miles an hour. Starts it off at Flaherty. A little buckle, and it works itself back over the inside corner for strike 3.
David Lowe, a strikeout victim his first time up. 7 strikeouts in the ballgame for Stroman, 1 shy of his career high. Done it twice. 8. This is just his 4th game back. Lowe to be followed by Parra. 1 delivery on the way, and that'll be outside for a ball. John Gibbons has already said if Toronto clinches by winning this first game of the doubleheader, he will play, as he put it, a skeleton crew in the second game. And is off first base. Stroman, no chance. David Lowe will get an infield hit.
David Lowe will certainly take that. And sometimes this is the way the game goes. Real good pitch, and you see how far out in front David Lowe was, but off the end of the bat, a little spin to it. Of course, Donaldson off the line a little. David Lowe on the board with a knock.
So that will give Parra a chance. Runner on at first base and 1 down. He will take it for a strike. Parra in the leadoff spot. He is singled and grounded out. The Orioles have 1 extra base hit, the Scope double. 4th inning, 2 down. And he was left stranded. Pitch on the way, and that'll be foul back. So Parra quickly behind on the count. 0-2 from Stroman. Revere's got an RBI. Donaldson an RBI. Bautista's picked up 1. Martin's got an RBI. Goins has 1. Errors accounting for the other runs in this 8-0 lead. In the air to right, near the warning track. Bautista. Parra retired. 2 down. Register now for the Longevity Foundation's Breathe Deep Baltimore, a 5K walk to raise funds and awareness for lung cancer in memory of the O's late public relations director, Monica Pence Barlow. It'll be held this Saturday. Proceeds benefit the nonprofit efforts to provide research grants. You can register or get info at Orioles.com/longevity. Manny Machado has struck out and grounded out. Up the middle. Caught. Barney, the second baseman, had moved over, perfectly positioned and just tall enough No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Fire Chiefs and Maryland State Firemen's Associations. Email mdfirevolunteer@gmail.com to volunteer with your local fire, rescue, and EMS. Bobbleheads, one and all. A collection. Jays have the 8-0 lead, 8-9-0 for Toronto, 0-4-3 for the Orioles. Wright came on out of the bullpen to find the final out in that last inning after walking a batter. He will stay on here. Justin Smoak. Smoak has an 0-for-3 in the ballgame. Starters for the Jays, even with a big lead here, they're going to stay in. They're not going anywhere with a chance to clinch the division. And if they do that, they won't play in game 2 anyway. So 0-1 count. That ball hit into the shift. Play made by Flaherty, who'd moved over to that side of the bag.
It would be nice if the Orioles could get a quick inning. Blue Jays 4th and 5th inning combined sent up 17 batters. Last inning batted around. Bobby Dickerson, third base coach, and Buck Showalter having a conversation.
Russell Martin a double. He has grounded out twice, has an RBI. Put him in the air to right field. Parra near the wall, very near, and did he get it? Yes, great catch. Parra going out of our eyesight over there once you get by that garage door at the 318 mark. That ball again, balls to right are carrying here today.
Yeah, that ball kept going and going. Parra had a beat on it, but just kept drifting to the ball. Great concentration to stay with it. It's hung up right there in Nicole's office in the window, and he's able to hang on. Nice play by the Gold Glove outfielder.
So a couple of quick outs here in the 6th inning. That'll bring Goings to the plate. Goings 3 for 3. Double, 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. A really fine game 1 of this doubleheader. 1-0 pitch to him off the end of the bat, foul back into the screen. And he's done it the hard way in the sense of facing different pitchers, with the Orioles going to the bullpen early in the ball game. 1-1 delivery to him. That'll go out into left field for a base hit. 4 for 4. Goings on with his 3rd single of the ball game. Orioles baseball on MASN, brought to you by University of Maryland University College. They bring us this moment in baseball history. It was in 1945 on this date that Hank Greenberg hit the pennant-winning grand slam. How's that for a way to put a ball game away? The Tigers left fielder got it done against the St. Louis Browns. And in 1990, final game played at Old Comiskey Park. The White Sox defeated the Mariners by a score of 2-1. The new ballpark going up across the street from the Old Comiskey. Pitch taken down low. For Goins, that is his second 4-hit game in his career. Pilar up, 1 for 3, runs scored, base hit. Struck out, popped out, fouls that one back. And Greenberg was coming back from World War II to the Detroit Tigers. He left, one of the big names in baseball, who went off in service in World War II. And then came back and continued to play some great baseball. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Pilar. Will just miss outside. 2 balls, 1 strike from right.
Well, there was an amazing number of great players that went and fought in World War II and came back to have Hall of Fame careers.
Right out of the set, the 2-1 delivery. So a 3 ball, 1 strike count. We're talking about the wild card race, and it is just that in the American League. New York and now the Angels are the 2 teams who would be the wild card teams. But Houston's only a half game out, Twins a game and a half. And he walked him. Boy, this has been a problem today. Oriole pitchers continuing to pile up the walks. That's 7. And that's just unacceptable. 2 have been issued by Wright. So Barney gets a chance. He has walked, reached on an error. Steve Johnson getting up in the bullpen. He's also flied out. Barney has scored twice. And will take the pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
The Blue Jays kind of went into a little bit of a panic mode when Troy Tulowitzki went down with that fracture in his left shoulder blade, so they needed some reinforcements defensively. They picked up Barney, 29 years old. He's a 4th round pick for the Cubs back in 2007. Gold Glove, second baseman.
Flaherty's got it and just gets it to second base in time for the force out on Pilar. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Bottom of the 6th coming. 8-0 Jays. Siegel is her name. Hired by the A's as the first female coach in Major League Baseball. Justine will serve as a guest instructor in the Instructional League. She has been a player, a coach, a teacher, has advanced doctorate degrees, first woman to throw Major League batting practice back in 2011, and now will be the first as an official coach at the major league level. Becky Hammond has done that in basketball, San Antonio. And Jen Welter for the Arizona Cardinals was a coach at training camp for them in the National Football League. So the ladies making their appearance.
Well, she's got a great resume.
Yes, she does. Yep. They really want the young players, the A's, to listen and learn from her experiences in sports. Chris Davis, Hop Davis, has struck out twice. Stroman's delivery hit into the shift. Barney. 6th inning, 1 down. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to the March of Dimes. 396 walks, $19,800. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take the first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Wieters has drawn a walk and he has struck out. Pitch will be taken for a strike. But for that 3-run homer in the 2nd inning 2 days ago in the first game of this series, the Orioles would be approaching the major league record for scoreless innings. They've still scored only in 1 inning. While this streak's been going on, they went 29 before they got the Flaherty 3-run homer, and they have not scored since, and that was in the 2nd inning of the last game. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery to Wieters. Rolls over on that one. Again, Barney there to put it away, and there are 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick here at Camden Yards. It is a doubleheader day. 2nd game no sooner than 7 o'clock. Kevin Gausman will be on the mound for the Orioles. R.A. Dickey will make the start for Toronto. And then don't forget tomorrow's game, which was supposed to be a night game because of the weather threatening to move in. It'll be a 12 noon game tomorrow. Donaldson's got it, makes the throw, and that'll do it. The Orioles are retired in order. Stroman cruising along with an 8-0 lead. And they've got the 8-0 lead.
And the Orioles once again go into their bullpen. Let's try Steve Johnson. Fastball 84% of the time. When he's on, it's an invisible fastball. And great rotation, kind of rides through the zone. Has a breaking ball, changeup to go along with it. 5 games with the Orioles this year with an 8.31 earned run average. Only 4 1/3 innings of work. Opponents hitting .350, but great numbers in AAA this summer. Pitched to a 2.30 earned run average, had 4 wins, 3 starts, most of his work in the bullpen. Coming off some shoulder problems, really earned his way back to the big leagues. He's hoping to finish this season strong.
Steve just got called up with the expanded rosters on September 1st for the Orioles, primarily out of the bullpen. 32 games, only 3 as a starter with the Tides. And we go to the 7th inning. And a highly offensive day again for these Jays. 8 runs, 10 hits. They've left 10 on base. Orioles 0-4-3, and they have left 5. And the first pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Revere, the leadoff batter. He's had an RBI base hit, a double, and scored. 2 for 4 in the ball game, 3 for 9 in the 2 games played. He's got a 5-game hit streak. 1-0 delivery, and that is in there for a strike. I'll tell you about the wild card race in the American League, with the Angels now moving into the 2nd wild card spot. Back in possession of a spot for the first time since the 21st of August. Pitch inside. They've matched their season high now, winning 7 in a row. They are just 2 games back of the Rangers in the American League West. Boy, you talk about a topsy-turvy season. And American League West has been that. 2-1 delivery on the way. That'll go to first. Davis will take it to the bag. 1 away. Help Maryland Governor Larry Hogan and the Orioles in their fight against pediatric cancer, and save 50% on tickets to the remaining games against the Jays and Yankees. Go to Orioles.com/charity. Help raise funds for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and the Ronald McDonald House charities. You can make a difference at Orioles.com/charity. Donaldson, an RBI double, a walk, a single, and he is popped out. He's been part of this offensive thrust made in this ball game against the Orioles. 1-0 count. Steve Johnson on for right, who worked an inning in the 3rd. A hit, couple of walks. (2-0). Minnesota, big lead over Cleveland, 7th inning. Twins 6, Indians nothing. Both teams, as we said, trying to hang on. Cleveland really not much of a chance at all. But the Minnesota Twins in that wild card race are still in it. Minnesota's a game and a half out of the 2nd wild card spot.
Pretty impressive run they went on. It seemed like they're playing some great baseball the first half of the season. Just after the All-Star break, they started heading south. Their pitching started to let them down. Inconsistencies in offense, and next thing you know, they're playing here at Camden Yards. They sweep the Orioles, and they just went on a tear. Put themselves right back into the playoff picture.
It was a big series for both teams. Well, no Oriole pitcher apparently is going to go the day without issuing at least 1 walk. So Donaldson is on. That is his 2nd walk. Runner on, 1 down. As promised earlier in the game, we selected the Data Strong fan photo. You can tweet your strongest fan photo to O's Couch Cam. You might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Bautista will take it for a strike. He's got 2 walks, 1 of them with the bases loaded. 0 for 2 officially in the ball game, 2 for 6 in the first 2 games. With that bases loaded walk he got, that was his 16th RBI against the Orioles this year. In this, the 17th game.
It's all about the run production. His ability to draw walks, get on base, score runs.
Parra coming over, runner halfway. 2 down here in the 7th. Encarnacion, DH, he's got 2 walks. He's 0 for 2. He has popped out, flied out. He did score a run. First one for Toronto in the second inning as he drew a leadoff walk in that inning. So their DH. Infield shifted. Runner on at first base. Oh my. Way back and goodbye home run. A towering home run by Edwin Encarnacion. 2 RBIs and a 10-0 lead.
Encarnacion picked up a home run in the first game of the series. Solo shot, 37th of the year. And take a look at this swing. There it is, inner third. He gets extension, contact. Who knows? It's gone.
And that's our Lexus of Towson drive of the game, brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer, 5 years running. See why at LexusofTowson.com. So the Jays just keep thumping away. 10 runs on 11 hits. Encarnacion 37 home runs and 108 runs batted in. What a year. Another one. Those are big numbers. Smoke is 0 for 4 in the ball game. Justin Smoke, 2-0 count, 2 down. You will take that for a strike. He is the only Jay in the lineup who has not been involved offensively in some way, either getting on, getting a hit, bringing somebody in, or scoring. 2-1 pitch, and that's there. And again, you see how this offense works with Toronto in a game like this. I mean, they've got 10 runs, but only 1 home run. And walks have mattered in the game as much as the homers. 2-2 delivery. Smokes now. Nope, not in the mix. Jonathan Schoop with a fine play to get him. So an 0 for 5 for Smoke, but a couple of runs in. Encarnacion, the homer. 7th inning stretch time with the Jays up 10-0. See the total challenges and the calls overturned, almost 49%. When the challenge is from the manager, almost 52% of the calls on the field are changed. When it's the umpire taking a look, 29%. So they've been steady all year. Take a look here at the runs, strikeout percentage, walk percentage compared last year to this year. You don't see much of a variation anywhere there. Runs are up a little bit. Time of game is closing into what it was last year.
Yeah. A little bit more on the slugging percentage. A lot of boppers this year as Davis again in the 40s with home runs. Donaldson, Cruz. So that's why the slugging percentage up a notch.
Clevenger will be retired. Stroman making the play over to Justin Smoke. One down, bottom half of the 7th inning.
Efficient work here by Marcus Stroman. Only 83 pitches thrown. Mixing it up very well.
They're going to win the division, and he's only pitched 4 games.
Right? I know, amazing. 9 ground outs, only 2 fly balls, 7 strikeouts for Stroman. What gets me is last year was his first season in the big leagues. And, you know, he was brought up just kind of to supplement their bullpen. And next thing you know, he comes away with 11 wins and a .365 earned run average. He had 1 full season. And that was in 2013 in Double-A. And look at the impact he's made on this team. And now it's going to be a big part of their postseason. They're finally getting off the disabled list with that torn ACL.
Down to third and foul by Steve Pearce. 1 ball, 1 strikeout on Pearce. Flaherty due up. Orioles are facing their 5th loss in a row in the face. If they get it, it'll even up their September record. Will be at 500, 13-13. That pitch is going to be taken down low, just missed. Oliver Drake in the bullpen. Orioles have used Gonzalez, Garcia, Wright, and Johnson. And another one fouled off at the plate. The Orioles have lost the last 3 outings they've had against Toronto. As the Jays, as we said earlier, winning the season series. Orioles have won 3 and lost 4 of the games played against Toronto here in this ballpark. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Stroman stops. Timeout asked for by Pearce. Lifts that one in the air. That one is going to be back and deep at the wall. And goodbye, home run. And the Orioles get rid of the goose egg. Steve Pearce delivers the long ball for their first run of the game.
Steve Pearce has worked hard all season long to find that home run swing. And that up and in fastball. Steve Pearce is right. He gets the bat head to the ball quick on the inside corner. They're hammering out his 15th home run of the year.
And that worth $500 to Patricia Branch, our Maryland Lottery contestant.
Take a look at the pitch here. Fastball riding up and in. That is a short, quick bat. Very direct to the baseball. No need time for that bat head to dip.
Ryan Flaherty into the shift. Nice play, running into the umpire and saving them both as Flaherty takes a tumble. He's out. That was a tough play. Barney, the second baseman, came over on the run to haul that in.
Now we talked about Barney. He won a Gold Glove with the Cubs back in 2012, but after the glove feed, underhand feed, his momentum kept him coming, and then a collision with the first base umpire. Flaherty runs into him, and he goes down. Pretty nice play there by Barney. Fortunately, nobody hurt on the end.
Stu Sherwater, the first base umpire, hanging on to folks there. That is in there for a strike. Low, the base hit, infield variety on a tapper, and he is struck out. That'll go down to first base, Justin Smoke. And we completed 7 in game 1 of 2 to be played today. 1 run on 1 hit. This one is Steve Pearce, 15th of the season, and it is a 10-1 Jays lead. Bordick with you. Tough number one for the Orioles, obviously, trying to defend a division championship, unable to get that done. Now facing a team that's on the verge of winning that division championship here in the Orioles ballpark.
Oh, tough to take, right? I mean, what a dream season last year, walking away with the American League East, and now here they find themselves, the Toronto Blue Jays, somewhat of a rivalry, obviously in the American League East, potentially going to win the division here on their home field. Of course, last year the Orioles won the division playing against the Blue Jays, so give and take, I guess. But Orioles not looking too sharp right now, and you can kind of tell what teams going to the promised land. Blue Jays on top of their game. They do what they do. Great at bats right now, taking their walks. Only one home run in this game, but still putting runs on the board. They're getting a great pitching performance by Stroman as well.
And the Orioles, as a result, with Gonzalez coming off the DL, they shortened that outing, so they are going to the bullpen here almost every inning.
Yeah, they are, and some of these young arms getting another look. Buck Showalter want to see, he's going to have to put together another bullpen next year. Bullpens are always kind of in flux. Oliver Drake, a great year in AAA. Take a look at his numbers this season. The opponent's hitting .264 here at the major league level, but incredible success with that split finger fastball. Big time strikeout rate, and perfect in his save opportunities in AAA.
Paul Janisch has come on to play at short. Machado out. Christian Walker is going to play at first base. Chris Davis out. Dario Alvarez in right. Parra out. Eighth inning, 0-2 count. Russell Martin will take the pitch up high. Martin, RBI double, run scored in the second inning, robbed of a hit on a fine play by Parra, his last time up in right field. Goins and then Pilar due up. Second game coming up, 30 minutes after the first one ends. Got him on a swinging strike. Drake will get the K.
Well, this is the pitch that made him perfect for saves in AAA. 23 for 23 in his save opportunities. Nasty split finger. This one's boring down and in on Russell Martin. Big time pitch there.
Steve Johnson worked an inning, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, home run by Encarnacion. Going for a career high 5 for 5. Twice he's had 4 hits in a ball game. Today it's been 3 singles, a double. He has scored twice, has an RBI. A very big game, and what looks like it'll be the division clinching win for Toronto. Pitch taken down low. Count will go to 2-0. Goings with Pilar waiting on deck.
See Goins not getting ahead of himself here. Very quiet in the box. He starts with the bat on his shoulder. Now, before the second half, he had the bat up in the air. He's wiggling it around. A lot of movement prior to his swing, and it kind of tended for him to lose control of his lower half. He'd get the bat going above the head and then stride forward and take everything with him. While starting this quietly with the bat on the shoulder, this helps him stay behind the baseball, much quieter in the box.
3 ball, 1 strike count on him. Three, 1 down. And that is there for a strike. Three and 2. Oliver Drake's delivery to him, and that'll be fouled off. He keeps the at-bat alive. I haven't seen Paul Beeston here. I would assume he probably is president, CEO of the Jays in his final year. How's that for a way to finish up? Going to go to the postseason, going to win the division, and we'll see what happens. Alex Anthopoulos, who's taken some heat over the years in Toronto, but boy, if you look back on the player personnel moves that have been made this year for this ball club, you've got to go pretty darn good.
Oh yeah, I mean, it seemed like they were right on time. Picking up Martin and Donaldson was the beginning, and then obviously David Price. You want to stabilize your rotation, bring in a veteran, a proven veteran in the American League East, and he settled everybody down. They brought in Lowe They'll bolster their bullpen. Troy Tulowitzki made an immediate impact at shortstop. They just started reeling off wins, in large part because of the confidence of their defense.
That pitch will be taken for a strike. Runner on at first base, one down, 0-1. Pilar walked, single, popped out, struck out. They've gone around this order now, 5th time to the plate for these Jays, and they're going to turn the order over if one more hitter goes in this one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. It'll be foul back and out of play. Gonzalez 3 2/3, 4 runs, 3 earned, 4 hits. Garcia an inning, 4 runs, none earned, 4 hits. Wright an inning and a third, a strikeout and a walk. Steve Johnson an inning, 2 runs, 1 hit and a walk. And now Oliver Drake. Reach for it. He's going to get an excuse me base hit. Goins will go to third base. Played in by Alvarez, and he's picked himself up a single on a pitch he really had no desire to hit.
No, he didn't want that ball, but sometimes get some luck in this game. High fastball riding in. He was trying to check his swing. Fortunately, Pilar gets it on the good part of the bat and finds some outfield grass.
So with only 1 away, 12 hits on the board for the Jays, first and third. Goins at third. Pilar over at first. Number 9 hitter is Barney. Darwin Barney will take the pitch inside. He's contributed, scoring twice, once on a walk when he reached, once on an error. He's taken an 0 for 3 at the plate in the ball game, but still has been a part of the offense. 1 away. Check swing, did not go around. Two and 0. Over the top, chop foul. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
Now the Blue Jays and Orioles very similar this year, about the midway point, beginning of July, almost identical records, much like last year. And the Blue Jays had some injuries last season, and that's when the Orioles took over and walked away with the East. Well, this year, the Blue Jays, no injuries, and they added to this team. We just talked about the strength, their pickups, but the difference in both teams. They were aggressive at the deadline, picking up some big time players, and Orioles kind of quiet, obviously adding Parra, but Parra not a lot done offensively for this team after the monster year he had with the Brewers.
Looking for home field advantage. Another thing, along with the division title, it comes first. John Gibbons Ball Club, if they win in this first game of the doubleheader, will have 92 wins. It'll put him 2 ahead of Kansas City for the best mark in the American League, and they have the record breaker for home field advantage against KC, even if they tied. Swing and a miss. Foul tip, caught, says Kerwin Danley. Barney strikes out.
Buck Showalter talks about Oliver Drake. He says if he's going to have success up here, he better be able to locate the fastball. A nice job, 90-mile-an-hour heater up and away to get Barney.
Runners at first and third with 2 down. And here's the out that's been so hard for the Orioles to find in this ball game. Revere up. He has singled, doubled, RBI, scored. He's grounded out twice, flied out as well. Ground ball to the middle, right where they were playing in force out at second base. Janisch takes it there to retire the side. Bottom half of the 8th inning coming up. Jays on top, 10-1. 2 of this doubleheader coming up about a half hour after this first game concludes. Kevin Gausman will be on the mound. R.A. Dickey the other side. That will be the second part of our doubleheader. Jim and Rick in between with our PNC post-game show.
I'll take a look at starting pitchers for Game 2. R.A. Dickey for the Blue Jays. He 11-11 record, but what a phenomenal second half. 8-1 with a 2.95 earned run average. And Kevin Gausman looks to continue his success here in his home ballpark, pitching to a 2.38, and he's pitched very well against this Blue Jays team. Should be a great second game.
Well, Stroman goes on at a 10-1 lead. Couple of walks, 7 strikeouts, 4th start. He's coming back after the knee surgery. And the pitch will be taken up high for a ball. Here is Alvarez batting in the leadoff spot for Parra. Already in the ball game, of course, playing in right field last half inning. Alvarez up the middle, may have hit the pitcher's glove, goes to second Barney. Hard ground ball out. On Saturday, the Orioles take on the Yankees 7:05 in the first 20,000 fans 15 and over receive an Orioles knit bomber hat. Show your Birdland pride all winter long with a warm addition to your wardrobe. Good seats remain. Tickets Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. One away here in the 8th inning. Manny Machado 0 for 3. Orioles scoring on the Pierce home run in the 7th inning. Or Walker, I'm sorry. In the ball game now, Christian Walker.
Number 15, Paul Yanish.
0-1 count on him. And a chopper foul. The Orioles are the only team in baseball that have struggled with the complete games to an extreme where there are none. Everybody else has at least one. Now, there aren't a lot of them. The Orioles are the only team without one. And one of the things that Buck Showalter had impressed on pitchers in spring training did not come to fruition, and that's trying to get to that 18, 19, and 20 outs per start. 0-2 count. And that pitch on the outside corner. So he's equaled his career high in strikeouts. Third time he's done it, 8.
Two-seam fastball, bringing it back on the outside corner here to lock Walker up. That late movement he possesses, 92, probably his best fastball of the game there. And he's reached a point where this is the most pitches he's thrown in his 4 starts.
Here is Paul Yanish getting his first at bat in the ball game. Yanish, 12 games, 27 at bats since joining the Orioles. Couple of doubles. Rondon in the bullpen. Yanish will take the pitch away. 2 ball, 1 strike count. And that's in there for a strike. Blue Jays will get their bullpen ready for the 9th inning. 2-2 delivery on the way down to third and foul. Stroman's working as quickly and as effectively as he was early in the ball game.
Just rocking and firing the two-seam fastball and the hard slider. Occasionally he'll flip that changeup in there to the lefties, but see what he's all about.
In the air to right field. Bautista back. He's got it. So Stroman will leave the ball game with a chance to go 4-0 in his starts this year, coming off the DL and trying to get a win against the Orioles for the first time. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. The Legends. Orioles trailing here by a score of 10-1, and one more time to the pen.
We'll take a look at Jorge Rondon's pitch arsenal. The fastball 65% of the time. He is a really good heater. Sort of mid to high 90s. And a slider to go along with it, but a 10-2-9 earned run average, 9 punch-outs. The 8 base on balls certainly have not helped. 22 hits in his 14 innings of work, and the opponent's hitting .338 overall. Rondon just needs more quality strikes because he certainly has the arm, and he had great success in AAA.
Drake worked an inning, a hit, a couple of strikeouts and a walk. Defensively, Paredes has come into play at third. Flaherty goes to second base. Junior Lake is in left field. Mike Showalter, the expanded roster, going through a lot of it here in game one of this doubleheader. Here is Donaldson. Donaldson to lead it off. Walk scored his last time up. He's had a double, a single, an RBI, a couple of walks. Pitch taken down low. This is the 6th time through the lineup for Toronto. Donaldson has moved the average up to an even 300, 10th in the league in batting average. And we'll foul that one away. 2 big innings, but more than that for Toronto. They do what few teams are able to do, and that's put runs across in multiple innings in a ball game. They score, they just keep coming at you and piling them up. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Towering fly ball to center. Lowe is there to put it away. Donaldson is retired. 1 away, top of the 9th inning. Second game of our doubleheader coming up about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. R.A. Dickey, knuckleballer, will be going. And Kevin Gausman will be on the mound for the Orioles. Mother Nature so far has held up. And the pitch taken down low for a ball. Bautista, couple of walks, RBI with a bases loaded walk. He's officially 0 for 3 in the ball game, 2 for 7 in the series. Infield shifted around. The 1-0 delivery to him, catches the outside corner for a strike.
I think Bautista wants to get to that 40 home run mark.
Oh yeah,
39 right now, and Encarnacion as well. Pretty impressive to have 3 hitters in your lineup with 40 home runs, 100 plus RBI.
1-1 delivery on the way to him. Ouch. Oh my gosh. Oh. Kerwin Danley stung by that one. Richie Bancells, the Orioles trainer, quickly makes his way out.
Mike Clevenger knew that right away too. Oh, right off the face mask. Rattled him. Got him clean. Clevenger heard that noise and he turned right around knowing that he was probably going to lose his balance. Man, oh man. Saw that helmet warp with the contact.
Joe West is the crew chief. Now there's an extra umpire here because of the doubleheader. They will change the crew by 1. I think DJ Rayburn is still here. He will be working in the second game.
And they really check umpires out nowadays. Richie Bancells will kind of run him through a quick kind of concussion test, ask him some questions about the outs and make sure he's going to be okay. Even with him saying okay, if he said there were no outs or maybe didn't know the count, I don't know that they'd let him stay in the game. He certainly was rattled on that. Seems happy. And again, and look at Clevenger stopping him from falling down.
Kerwin checking on his vocabulary to make sure he was all right, and he was. 1-2 strike count on Bautista, and the pitch will be taken up high. 2-2. Ninth inning, 1 down. Jays 3 outs away from clinching the American League East. Rondon's 2-2 delivery to him. That'll be outside. So the count worked full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oriole pitchers have struck out 5. They have walked 9. 3-2. Rondon trying to prevent the free pass right here. He did that, but not the run. Way back and goodbye home run. Bautista delivers the long ball, second home run in the ball game, and as Mike said, looking for 40. Well, there it is.
You knew he was going to be turning it up a notch. He gets the count to 3-2, and he got a slider down Broadway. 40th home run in the season. Now 2 Blue Jays with the 40 long balls. 100+ RBI. The slider center cut. The type of finish on that slider don't want it.
Bautista's 6th home run against the Orioles this year, and makes it an 11-1 ball game. So the race for the home run championship gets tighter. Teammate Donaldson with 41. Bautista now with 40, tied with Mike Trout for 4th. In the air to center. That'll be a base hit. All right, Encarnacion delivers a single. He had a home run his last time up, his 37th. So he's got 2 hits in the ball game and has scored a couple of runs. The Jays leaving no doubt about their offensive prowess in the first game of this doubleheader. 11 runs on 14 hits. Justin Smoak 0 for 5. It always happens to somebody in no lineup on a day like today.
Yeah, when they check the box scores tomorrow, you say, well, who took the 0 for in that game?
Yeah. Smoak hope it's not him. He'd like to take care of that right here. One 0 count with 1 down. And that'll be outside for a ball. Even here, the Jays just not giving up at bats. Their patience is still there. They're still defining the strike zone, forcing the Oriole pitchers to throw in it. 2-0 the count. Infield. Back at 2. Ball in the air, left field. It'll send Lake back at the wall. Goodbye home run. So Smoak joins the Gru in the cavalcade of runs. A 2 RBI homer here in the 9th inning. His 18th of the year. 13-1.
I guess they're showing you what they're all about, really. Their ability to draw walks, and now all of a sudden seems like they want to hit home runs, and that's what they're doing. Encarnacion picked one up in the 7th. Bautista in this inning, and now Smoak getting extended, driving it the other way.
So a 3-run 9th inning so far. Still only 1 away. Russell Martin to double his first time up. Picked up an RBI and scored a run. He is 1 for 5. Smoak gets his 2nd home run against the Orioles this year. 1-0 pitch on the way, and that'll be inside. No Oriole pitchers gone unscathed in the hit department. Drake and Wright were able to get through their times without runs, and Dave Wallace, after the home run, seeing 2 out of the strike zone.
Yeah, I think Dave Wallace upset about what he's seeing right now. Very frustrating, obviously, for the Orioles pitching coach. Too many walks. They're staying a little timid. Back in the zone. I mean, you see the good movement Rondon has. It's unfortunate some of his pitches have been elevated because he had a big arm. And he did have success in AAA. And it's pitches like that, though, that he's got to be able to consistently throw, work the bottom of the strike zone. Too many mistakes.
2 balls and 1 strike, 1 down. Rondon's delivery, and that's a breaking ball and a good one. That is in there for a strike. LaTroy Hawkins will come on in the 9th inning, it looks like. 2-2. Keeps it alive as he fouls that one back.
Number 32, LaTroy Hawkins, now working for Toronto.
Toronto, a 3-homer ball game. Marcus Stroman looking to go 4-0 in the 4 starts made. And in pretty good shape to do that. 2-2. And that's going to be outside. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Still only 1 away. Toronto with their home runs now 226 home runs on the season. Houston second, 221. 3-2 pitch. Chopper foul. We won't have to worry about waiting for the start of game 2, which was going to be no sooner than 7. It already is. It'll be a half hour after this one, and there's another walk. So Rondon surrenders the walk. 5 hitters up in the inning, a homer, a single, a homer, a walk, and a fly ball out. Ryan Mattis in the bullpen.
I guess it's a good thing they had September call-ups, right?
Oof.
Doubleheader.
Someone would have had to have taken one for the team on the mound if they didn't. Pitch is in there for a strike. So Goins gets another chance. He has been up 5 times and on base every time. He's had 3 singles, a double, has scored 2 runs, has an RBI, and he has drawn a walk. He's never had a 5-hit game. If he gets one here, he'll have it. Down the line, left field, curving and foul. So Goins with a 2-strike count.
Up with a put-away pitch here.
Orioles now have walked 10 in the game. That's a season high. And everybody, Gonzalez, Garcia, Wright, Johnson, Drake, and Rondon, have had at least 1. Goins with the 0-2, 1 away. And that's going to go to left, and he's done it. So a private milestone reached. His first 5-hit ball game as he puts one the other way into left field for his single. What a day. 6 times up and 6 times on.
A pretty impressive approach all day. Every at bat, quality. Here, taking a pretty tough pitch down and away the other way for his 5th knock of the game. 6th time on base. The young stars for the Blue Jays. Many people compare him to Robbie Alomar defensively. If he can add that kind of stuff with the bat, wow.
So the Jays keep it going. There's still only 1 out, runners at first and second. Toronto 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position in the ball game. And here's Pilar He too has had a good day. He's picked up a couple of singles, runs scored, a walk. He struck out and popped out. I mean, this is just a ton of offense. This ball club has scored 13 and they've left 12 on base. 13 runs on 16 hits and 12 left on. Way inside, you don't want any of that going on. Pilar just turns around and looks in his own dugout.
Well, it was a slider, so hopefully wouldn't take offense to that one. Just backed up on him, tried to be too quick. All slipped out of the hand.
2-0. Barney waiting on deck, number 9 hitter. And that will catch the inside corner. 2 ball, 1 strike count. There you see the big numbers. 0 for 4 the Orioles, 4 for 11 for the Jays. 2-1 delivery. Big swing, good movement down. Evens the count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Pilar.
Nice slider there, 88 miles an hour, so throws it hard. You can tell he flashes plus quality. Both that fastball and the slider, but inconsistencies have led to this big inning.
2-2 foul back. So here's Rondon coming on first inning. He's thrown 30 pitches already. Double where he would like to be. And again, a long inning. The Jays batted around in the 5th when they got 4 unearned runs. They sent 8 to the plate in the 4th inning when they got 2 runs on just 2 hits. Left the bases loaded. 2-2 delivery on the way and a ground ball towards the hole. That's going to be a base hit. Runners will stop. Ball is bobbled. Runner's going to come. And the nonchalant throw is to nobody. And boy, the wheels have fallen off this thing. It'll be an error charged on Junior Lake in left field. A base hit, no RBI for Pilar, and it's sloppy.
Well, you can see the frustration here in Buck's face. Diving attempt there by Paredes and just casual play. Careless baseball. Even when you're down. These are the type of games where you make the biggest impact. You come up clean and you make a strong throw in, you hit the cutoff man, and it proves to Buck Showalter you're focused. You're still playing every pitch out. It's plays like that rub a manager the wrong way.
There's still only the 1 down. Darwin Barney up. Barney has scored 2 runs. Once when he walked, once reaching on an error. 1-0 count, 1 away, 17 hits. No RBI. That's going to be a base hit into left field by Barney. Runners are going to, 1 will score into the cutoff man this time. Goins will come across. Barney credited with the base hit. And picks up the RBI. Buck Showalter is on his way out. 9th batter in the 9th inning. Leadoff batter Ben Revere will be coming up. Rondon will leave. Not much success here in the 9th inning.
90s. Breaking ball, the big curve, tight slider to go along with it, and the straight change 13% of the time. Real strong year for Brent Mattis out of the Orioles pen. Picked up a win, 2.98 earned run average, 48 1/3 innings of work. Very solid for this team after a slow start. Settled in, has been pretty dominant out there in whatever role Buck puts him in. 208 overall opponent batting average. This number here is very untypical here, Brian Mattis, because in his career, very good keeping runners stranded, but not the success rate he wanted this season.
So still only one away. The Jays have runners on at first and second base, and the ninth batter to hit in the inning, Ben Revere, leadoff batter, double single, RBI, run scored, and 6 times to the plate. The Jays just don't want to quit. Season high 15 runs. They've got them. Season high 20 hits. They're too shy of that. Revere, runners on at first and second base. Pillar's the lead runner. Barney with the RBI single is on at first. That ball's going to go to second. Chance to get out of it. And there's the double play. Flaherty to Yarnish to Walker. But a big ninth inning, and now the Jays will try and wrap up a division championship. They need 3 outs. And in with us here is the Jays with the 15-1 lead. Will send the veteran out to replace this youngster.
Yeah, well, Marcus Stroman had himself another fine outing. 4 starts and all 4 of them quality. 4-0 going into the postseason. 8 strong innings pitched, just the 1 earned run, scattering 5 hits against the Orioles offense. And Blue Jays going to the pen. LaTroy Hawkins. He's been very successful in his long career. 76% fastball, still gets it in there in the low 90s. 3.13 earned run average. Veteran arm brought over to help stabilize the bullpen, and he has certainly done that. 3 wins out of the Jays bullpen. Opponent's hitting .284 overall. Ground ball pitcher, 57% of his outs on the ground.
So Hawkins comes on, looking for the final 3 outs. Oldest active player in the majors. 1,041st game, and a bench ready to celebrate a division championship. And Hawkins would be a moment to be on the mound and be the one to wrap that up at the age of 42. And he's done a good job. I mean, limited work for them, but he's given up 4 runs, 15 innings, and opponents have not been able to get big hits off him. They've kept the average up, but he's come on and filled in a slot they needed, and now finishing out a career.
Well, what do you think about the impact he's had some of their young players? Okay, you got the oldest pitcher out in the bullpen in LaTroy Hawkins, and the youngest in Osuna. I mean, Osuna's already started picking his brain. You got to take care of yourself if you want to be successful. Hawkins has been in the postseason before with Milwaukee, Minnesota, and of course went to the World Series with Colorado Rockies. So great experience there, and certainly will help every young player.
Matt Wieters will take the pitch inside for a ball. Wieters leading it off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Orioles trailing it 15-1. Just completely outplayed in this ball game. Pitch will be taken inside. Kind of a unique situation for Toronto to have a ball game in which they're going to clinch a division title and not really be able to celebrate because you got another game in 30 minutes. We'll see what. Can't wait to see Gibbons' lineup for game 2. John saying the skeleton crew, as he put it, would be on the field if they won game 1. 2 ball, 2 strike count. A lot of Toronto fans around their dugout. Ball will go to left field. Matt Wieters not going to give it up. He's got himself a base hit. He'll head to second base. Throw not in time, and he stayed on the bag. And Matt with a double to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning.
Piece of hitting right there from Matt Wieters. Turning that fastball inside out swing. 94-mile-an-hour heater.
Junior Lake will get his first at bat. Lake being called up with the expanded rosters by the Orioles. This will be the 8th game he's been in. Nolan Raimo will come on as the pinch runner for Matt. So Hawkins surrenders a double to the first batter faced. Orioles' 6th hit of the ball game. Delivery to Lake, and that will be in there for a strike. Coming up from Norfolk, 3rd stint with the Orioles. Good minor league numbers this season. That ball slowly hit. Pretty good speed. Running throw. Nice play. Good play by Donaldson to get the out. Productive out. It will move the runner up.
Donaldson known for the offense he's putting up this year, but defensively he's been very solid as well. Nice bare hand play to take one away from Junior Lake.
Clevenger coming up, a base hit, a walk, and he is grounded out. One down, runner at third base. Troy Hawkins with the delivery and will miss inside for a ball. Stroman waiting for a W. 1-0 pitch. Look out. Right off the corner of the visiting dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hawkins still a good fastball with nice 2-seam movement. 93 miles an hour there.
Hawkins waiting on his outfield defense to get set. Jay's looking to clinch a spot. First time since that 93 championship season. 1-1 delivery on the way. Inside out. It'll come back to left and fall in. Ball's going to roll all the way to the warning track. Clevenger on his way to third. He'll go in with an RBI and a triple. 15-2.
Expect that ball to drop out there. Revere Real good outfielder himself as Pierce cuts this one, pulls the hands inside, and a little miscommunication. Pilar's all over the place out there, and I think that kind of kept Revere on his heels a little bit. Pilar, full out effort, had to go way too far to make an attempt on that ball.
That'll bring Paredes to the plate, get his first at bat in the ball game. Runner at third, one out. Ryan Flaherty waiting on deck. The Orioles couple of runs now on 7 hits. Oh, 0-1 delivery by Hawkins, fouled off. With a victory in this ball game by Toronto, they will improve their second half season record to 47-19. Since the All-Star break, that is the highest win percentage in the majors for any ball club in the so-called second half of the year. Oh, 2-1 down, runner off third. Pitch taken up high, 1 ball, 2 strike count. One ball, 2 strike delivery. 2 down. Alex Anthopoulos, their GM, 1 out away. Division championship right there above the dugout. A lot of fans ready for the celebration. Team all up under that front row. Two down. Ryan Flaherty fouls it away.
Anthopoulos certainly pushed the right buttons this year, off season and mid season.
John Gibbons back for the second time as manager of the ball club. He watched while Buck Showalter's team wrapped up a division title. Now it's the other way around. Oh, 1 count. Flaherty on a check swing. 1-1. Toronto, winners of 83 games last season, finishing 13 games behind the Orioles. This will be their 92nd win of the year. 1-1 delivery on the way. Flaherty takes it inside. 2-1.
The Orioles certainly familiar with the feeling the Blue Jays have right now, anticipating the clinching of the American League East. Both teams opposite roles from last year.
2 ball, 1 strike count on him. Ryan Flaherty 0 for 3 in the ball game. 2-1 pitch will be up high. Three-1 delivery on the way, and Flaherty fouls that one back. So we go 3-2, 2 down, 9th inning. Orioles have a run in, trailing in it 15-2. Its own way for Toronto. It's a sort of agony here in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
to get that third out. Three balls, 2 strikes. And again, fouled away.
Flaherty working a pretty good at bat here, though. He doesn't want to make the last out of this ball game. 7 pitches. Flaherty. Clevenger, nice AB. Like a triple, an RBI.
Again, the 3-2 delivery. Clevenger off third base. And foul tipped, and that's it. So the Toronto Blue Jays are the American League East division champions with their 92nd win as they put on a big-time offensive show. First time they have won it since '93. Bullpen charge again with the expanded rosters. It's a lot of folks out there to celebrate. For John Gibbons, second time around proves to be the right one. Gibbons managed from 2003 to 2008. Never won a division, then got replaced. Went away a year, then came back. Now back in his 3rd season. He went from 5th to 3rd to 1st.
We got that group to play together, stay together through the first half of the season until these key moves were made. And they just went on a run. I mean, this team's confidence was sky high the second half, and they just put the pedal to the metal. Offensively, pitching wise, I think pitching was really the key for this team. Both the rotation and the bullpen stepped up, did an incredible job.
They knew they had the offense. Question was, did they have the pitching?
Yeah.
Yep. The winner will go to Stroman, 4-0. Great performance over 8 innings. Gonzalez, coming off the DL, will take the loss, 9-12. And there's another game to be played. They'll restrain themselves a bit in the celebration once they get into the clubhouse. We'll be back for game 2 of our doubleheader. Kevin Gausman on the mound against R.A. Dickey. This has been a Masson presentation. O's Extra, presented by PNC, is coming up right now. Jim and Rick will take a look back on this 15-2 win by the Jays over the O's. And then we will be back in about 30 minutes for game 2. For Mike Wardick and all of our crew, we'll see you in a bit. Adieu.